The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians. Apply today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Guys, we're just 1 week away from Halloween. That's right, millions of Americans are buying candy for trick-or-treaters, which they'll rebuy in 6 days after they polish it off themselves. That's right, Halloween is on a weekday this year. Oh. Yeah. Parents are like, you mean I get to work a full day and walk around for hours in the cold darkness? Wow, awesome.
Well, Halloween just around the corner. Boo.
Dude, you can't miss Halloween.
No, I thought I'd share some of my favorite Halloween fail tweets from you guys. Those are pretty good.
This one's from @memefinder69. He says, I went as a hand last Halloween. I spent the whole night getting hit in the face. It's like, high five. High five. Ow. This one's from @Kelly the Walsh. She says, I got 50 people at my high school to wear all gray and sunglasses so we could be 50 shades of gray. I was told it wasn't school appropriate and we had to enter the costume contest as pavement.
No.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that one.
You're not going to win, kid.
This last one's here is from @Rick E. Green. He says, last year I strapped a bicycle tire to my neck and just stood next to the couples all night. I was the third wheel. There you go. There you have it on our Tonight Show. Hashtag.
It's showtime.
Oh. Yeah. Here we go. Hope all is well with the brother and the damned sisterhood. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It's 5:43. We wouldn't be here without you folks. We just wouldn't be here at all.
It would make no sense to be here, would it?
How sad would that be if we just talk to each other for 3.5 hours?
I mean, the positive is our mothers would know we made it to work.
Yeah.
True.
Very true.
What you got going on today, Cubby?
Boy, nothing. Just the usual.
I'm over
I'm
here.
very, I like to stick to a routine,
Yeah,
just the
me
usual
too.
work stuff. That's about it.
I'm doing something a little out of my regular routine right now. I'm over here filling out my application to get a spot on that television show, F-Boy Island.
I think it's too late for this season.
Dana found an application for F-Boy Island. It's too late for this season?
I think so,
I can't be a late entry?
No.
Type of. I want to be an F-Boy so bad I can taste it.
But they're always casting for future seasons.
Ooh, I can taste it. Dana found this application. I mean, there's not much that's wildly interesting in here, in the F-Boy Island application. I don't know.
It kind of more looks like a dating app. I thought it'd be a little more scandalous. Riddled with sleaze. Nothing like that.
Sleaze, filth, sure. I mean, there's just general questions. How do people describe your personality? Josh, how do people describe my personality?
Electric.
Electric is a good word.
That is a good one.
I'll be damned.
That's a good warm fuzzy to start your Tuesday.
Woo-wee. The man is electric.
Oogie, oogie, oogie.
What is my ideal physical type? Well, I was taught that at a young age. What I should be looking for in a woman. You guys know that. My dad's buddies taught me and my brother to look for a woman with money, large cans, and a heart problem.
You would nail that question. I think they would love that answer.
Do you think that would stand out?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect for a shallow show like F-Boy Island.
Yeah, the casting directors would just eat that up immediately.
F-Boy Island. I know we talked about this a handful of days ago. I'm not going to sit here and dwell on F-Boy Island. I just was kind of scanning through this application, and it reminded me how badly I do want to be on the program, but here's another question. Why do women love you? The list is long. I'll tell you that right now. It is a long story. Why do women love me? That's probably never going to happen.
I don't think you'll fill out that application. That's a lot of stuff on there. I mean, I've seen you when it comes to corporate trainings, the time commitment and things like that. You don't have time for that.
Just finding the password alone usually takes a while.
I'm no good with computers. You're right about that. What the hell was the word that was used. Yeah, every once in a while we have these training sessions that we have to go through as part of working for Cumulus Industries or whatever the hell the company is called that we work for. Little training sessions. And I suck at keeping up with when they're due. As a matter of fact, the last training session that we had to do on our little computers, you can do it on your personal computer and send it in to make sure you're all squared up and properly trained. But I hadn't seen this word in a long time, and I had to chuckle. Cubby, the last time I had to do one of those corporate training sessions, when I got into my email, it referred to me as delinquent. Because I was 2 weeks late on the deadline for you see what I'm saying? I just hadn't seen that in a while.
They get a little bitter about that.
It had my name up there, and it said, the current training is, training how to do this, this, and this. Your name. And then it said I was categorized as delinquent.
I forget who here got tricked by the company.
Oh, I have.
You have?
Oh, I have.
Yeah,
They have.
Bob and I both have.
A lot of the trainings are about corporate security, right?
Yeah.
Making sure you don't fall for phishing attempts and stuff like that. And they got both of you guys?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Didn't you say
yeah.
they flash up a message like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a dumbass?
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I got. Like, they
Wow.
shot, like, confetti
Yep.
at the screen and everything, and it's like, you suck. You got caught.
Why the confetti?
I have no
Gosh.
idea.
It
It's
had
like a
such-
joyous occasion for them. Got ya, douche.
Yeah, it added such insult to injury. And I was like, oh, come on, really? Shooting off fireworks.
That's hilarious.
Didn't it happen to you, Dana, and then it happened again like a month later?
Actually, you know what? The details get lost in over time.
That's interesting. You left that out. So you got busted twice?
I think I did, yeah.
Do they put you like in detention, or what do they do?
They
Do you
did.
have to take extra training?
You have to take another training
you gotta
course.
like redo the course, or maybe it's like a bonus course. I don't.
Here's the
remember.
deal, you bozos. If you never read your emails, sure, once in a while you'll be referred to by the company as a delinquent, but you won't be falling for all these sucker emails and this and that.
Yeah, I'm done clicking on anything in
Stop.
my company email.
Yeah, stop clicking on things.
I find that very interesting that you had to do other trainings. I'm wondering, for the second one, does the person giving the training just go, all right.
Here we go.
All right.
That is so good. What a dickish move. But, hey, they got to protect
Well,
the company.
and they said it was something about like my paycheck or my 10W or my taxes or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
mine was about benefits. It's like, click here for benefits. And I'm like, well, I definitely need... Oh.
Yep, they got you. They know what they're doing. Zombie Jesus said that he's over 600 days late for some of his training videos.
Whoa.
I wonder how far we could push it. Because I know I hate.
Oh, you can't. I mean, everybody starts yelling at you.
Yeah, you get like 4 different emails
From a whole bunch
Yeah.
of different, and eventually, the big boss gets in there, and you better get on.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And
I
then
hate.
you get threats.
I hate being on that email list from the boss or the big boss.
Oh, worst feeling ever.
You
Because they
feel
send it out
shame.
to everyone.
And those emails kind of have that vibe where it's like I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah,
you know.
most definitely.
God, I hope you guys fall for it again. Dana, I hope, especially you. That'd be so great if you just keep the streak alive.
Where's Dana? Oh, he got fired. He clicked on too many emails.
Too many phishing emails. Such a dumb one.
That's good.
It's good stuff. That's fun. It's fun taking the corporate training sessions. Nothing
Actually,
but fun.
Some of them are pretty good.
Well,
I gotta say, they've gotten entertaining, and the acting is very good.
Yes.
I've watched worse programming on television, no question. Yeah, I have. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just I never know when it's due or what I'm doing until I'm past the deadline. That's just kind of how I operate. Hope nobody's too butthurt in the corporate offices.
In the videos, I love when you see an actor you saw in a TV show from like 10 years ago.
I've never had that experience.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, that Tom Virtue guy, he was the dad in Even Stevens.
I've never heard of Even Stevens.
I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth
It was
right
a-
now.
It was a Disney Channel show. So if you guys...
Is that the bald guy?
Yeah, the bald guy.
Oh, he's really good in those training videos. I've never seen him on Even Stevens.
Yeah, he
What
was-
the hell
he was
happens
an
to your
actor.
career where at one time you have a
Exactly.
friggin' you got a sitcom on the Disney Channel and now you're an actor for a media
He's
company?
seriously in those training videos?
You're an
no
actor.
way.
You're an actor in training videos. You must have gotten in trouble.
Yeah, something happened.
Hey, $20 is $20.
I'll tell you, I heard those people can make some good
They
money.
can, yeah, absolutely.
It's insane, like voiceover people, how much they can make. And you just get to work from your house.
Well, I don't know.
I like the ones where it's about what's inappropriate in the workplace, and where it's just so egregious that there's not one person that doesn't realize you can't compliment a guy's balls at the urinal. It's just like,
Unless you're Ashley's boyfriend.
it's so, yeah, right.
True.
It's so dirty or so obvious. I like that when they put that in.
Exactly.
That's good humor.
You'd have to be pretty lost to know that that's not inappropriate. Yeah. Some of that stuff is fun. And then the little trivia questions. Is it okay to talk about another man's balls in the urinal?
What if your boss is around and your boss starts joining in? Is that okay?
Right. Yeah, it's just...
All right, so a gentleman named Tyler texted in a screenshot of all the different trainings he needs to do still. These go way back. Let's see, 2022, 20... Okay, so a lot of ones from last year he has not completed.
What, do you work for your dad or something? I mean, because really, how are you getting away with that?
Beyond the Breach, Uber hack.
Boy, that's smart on your part if you can avoid those.
What does that mean,
Maybe
beyond the breach Uber hack?
I don't know. I'm just reading some of the names of the quizzes or trainings he's behind on.
Oh, you're reading this individual's
Yeah.
text message. Oh.
I wonder if the company doesn't say anything in some cases because if they ever need like ammo to fire you, they're going to hold on to that. They're like, well, you haven't done training in 2 years, so
I was
there
just
you go.
going to say the opposite, though. Because you can say, I never saw that training. I had no idea I couldn't compliment a gentleman's balls. I thought I was being polite.
Oh, true.
Yep. No,
True.
Josh has
Okay.
pointed that out a few times, and I think he's right.
That's why, you watch that, they could say, hey, bro, we told you a few times, enough with the ball stuff. You're gone. Yeah, you
Josh-
can't plead ignorance to that.
Josh is right. He's absolutely right. Well, there you go.
I remember back in the day, before we had all these videos and kind of these high-tech tests when we were owned by Disney, 20 years ago or more. And remember,
man.
Nick, we'd have the in-person trainings.
I really don't.
Oof.
Well, you're supposed to go. Maybe you never made one of those.
I might not have been in attendance.
So that was everybody. And at that time, there were a lot of people that worked here. I mean, over 100 people easily. So
we had a busy building back in those days.
Yeah.
My God, is it freezing cold in here? Go ahead, Josh.
So they'd have these big trainings, and that was the most inappropriate day in the office. Hey, sweet ass, walking down the hallway, grabbing each other's boobs, T-word twisters, things like that. I mean, I remember those days thinking, well, this has backfired. All it's done is inspired all of us to be completely inappropriate.
I do remember a little bit of that, sure, where, it was like when you're in junior high and they first dump sex ed on you.
Oh, yeah.
You react very immaturely. That's how it was around here when we had the early days of sexual harassment training and things like that. Yeah, the hallways just became high school all over again, and everyone's horsing around, the guys and the girls, slapping each other on the ass, making inappropriate comments. Yeah, that didn't really stick.
No. I've learned a lot, though. Honestly, I've learned some stuff from those videos, the different ones they've had. They've made me a little nervous, certainly.
I can tell that you've picked up some things, too, because you have not complimented my balls at the urinal in a long time.
No, it's in my diary. When I pass, I've gifted my diary to you. You can read it. There was a time a couple weeks ago where I had to ask Ashley, wait, can I do that? Is that okay? A coworker walked by. I hadn't seen her in a while. She was all dressed up, and I said, oh, you look really nice.
Oh.
And then I remember thinking, can I say? I asked you, Ashley, like, is it okay to say something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, and I said it's fine. It's
thought I was
okay.
gonna
It's
barf.
okay. Yeah, you did look so nervous.
And I'm like, oh no, I complimented somebody's appearance. I don't think we're supposed to do that.
These training videos, like I said, I've watched worse movies and television shows than these training videos. Sure, they're a pain in the ass, and it's like right when you think you finally covered everything, they got 5 or 6 fresh, new training videos for you to teach you how to not get yourself in trouble, not get the company in trouble.
Things like even positive stereotypes. Like this one surprised me, where I would just assume a young person is better at computers and stuff than I am, simply because they grew up with it, right? Now we're not supposed to assume that anymore.
Right. It is sometimes, kind of a mind F, how differently we are expected to interact with each other.
It's a lot to keep in mind.
I'm the old guy that doesn't quite understand. That's where I'm at. So some of it's a little difficult for me to get adjusted to, but it is what it is, and I understand the importance of it and all that. So.
Yeah, like I said, I have learned some stuff that makes sense. Like, I never would have considered that might bother someone. Cameraman Jesus said when he worked in TV, he'd do trainings from home and get overtime to do them. It was easy money. We don't get paid extra to do those.
Yeah, we don't get extra. We do
That'd
need.
be pretty sweet. Some of those are when they stack them up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're sitting there for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when we have to watch those videos on, office behavior and things like that, it reminds me of, a couple episodes from years ago where, a couple of these episodes, if they happened today, the sumbitch wouldn't even feel. They'd be thrown out the building so fast they wouldn't even feel it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I remember one guy dumping the C word out as loud as he could in the hallway once.
Oh, wow.
Remember that day, Josh?
Yeah.
He wasn't calling someone a C word. He just used the word.
It was lawless for a long time.
Yeah. He just used the word. I don't know if he was telling a joke. I don't know what it was, but I mean, and this is, even though it was a long time ago when we weren't so focused on, making sure that we were all properly behaved. Even though it was back in the lawless days, it still kind of froze me in my tracks when I heard it said out loud.
That's one of those words where even in the lawless days, I mean, there's a couple, right? Certainly a couple words that when you hear it, you perk up like, oh, that shouldn't have been said.
This wasn't, and this wasn't, what time is it? This wasn't at 5:58 in the morning when it's just us. This wasn't after hours having some beers. This was smack dab in the middle of the day when everybody was here. And I just hit the brakes, when I heard it, because I thought, this guy's going to get thrown out on his ass. The other was the butt slap heard around the world.
Oh, man. And just the guy, how he argues that it was totally fine.
Oh, the butt slap.
That was so stupid.
And this wasn't even that long ago.
No.
This wasn't the late 90s when we were all, acting like animals. This was not that long ago where, oh, man. A dude who used to work here approached a lady who was a part-time employee, I think we should call her. Would that be fair to say, Josh?
Yep, that's accurate.
Part-time employee. And she was bent over a desk filling out some paperwork, and here comes dude just ka-slap right on her ass cheek.
And it's not like he knew her super well either. I wouldn't say they were buddies or anything. They're familiar with each other.
Familiar with each other.
That's about it.
And just a good old-fashioned crack.
I can't imagine that.
Open hand slap on her ass cheek. And again, Josh, I think you were there. We both froze.
I don't think I could spin around fast enough to punch him in the face.
And I got to be honest with you, I thought, ooh, this is what I've been waiting for. Fire this idiot. Yes, fire him, because I didn't like the guy. It was just, we pulled him into an empty room and said, you can't, what are you doing? You can't approach someone. And I forgot what bizarre defense he attempted.
He was so defiant. Like, it's totally fine. It's funny, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we said, look, dude, I mean, go ahead. If you want to get gassed, keep it going. But
we do have a guy he's back from the lawless days. And as you guys know, I've had to pull him aside and go, hey, man, it's not 1999 anymore. I mean, you got to watch that. And I know he doesn't care. But I'm like, you really got to watch it. I mean,
half the stuff he says, I'm like, eat.
And the other half,
I'm gonna get in trouble for you saying that.
The other half is eat. It's even worse. Man, oh man. But he's got a lot of them.
Oh yeah,
and
always
they don't
ready.
Stop. There's one after the other.
I have to look around to see, can I laugh at that? I don't know. I want to be polite to the guy, but But man, oh man, you can't do stuff like that. Boy, a lot of people have to do those trainings. Person here works for a large financial company. They got to do them every quarter. I think that's what we do. They vary
Yeah,
it
it
up at
seems
least.
like it.
You know, there's a different topic pretty much every time.
You've probably never, and of course, after every training, there's a quiz.
Yeah.
Okay, to make sure that you've paid attention. Josh, you've probably never gotten one wrong.
Oh, I have. The ones that give me trouble are where you have to click like 6 out of
Multiple.
10 or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay,
They try to fool you.
I'm not the only one who's gotten a few wrong along the way.
No.
I've had some
But
slips.
do you? I go back and try and get 100%. You know, you can go back and.
Oh, I didn't know you
Oh,
could.
I don't do that.
I did not know you could go back.
If it says pass, I'm like, okay, cool.
Good enough for me.
C's get degrees. I'm good
Wouldn't that
with
be something if we could all go back and take some tests over? Maybe we wouldn't be sitting here right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder what we'd all be doing.
I wish
if that's the case.
I wish I would have had a second chance at some of those quizzes back in the day.
Even if I had a second chance at math tests, I still wouldn't pass it.
No, me neither. What'd you find there, Cubby?
Oh, I can't read this text. I don't think. This is so good.
I hear you.
I'm going to print this and see if you think I can read it.
Oh, I like that. I like playing that
I
game.
don't think I can.
I like playing that game.
And I'm sorry to do that. I know that's lame to bring something up and not say it. But
It happened. I'm the one who brought
got
it up.
me. It got me. I got caught off guard by this.
I'm the one who brought it up.
Jace, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's a different scene around here. And that's just how it's got to be.
Why did this topic just come up at our broadcast on Friday?
It
was an off-air thing,
Oh.
and Ashley, we were talking about it, and you said you do the same thing as this other person where you fast forward the video and just take the quiz.
Oh, yeah, because you can just, fast forward to like the very last few seconds and then take the quiz.
Why don't
But-
you guys tell me these things? Why don't you tell me that you can fast forward and take the quiz, and why don't you tell me that you can take it again?
Ashley
I
did,
think-
but I don't think you were paying attention.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she mentioned it.
And like you were saying, you say that like you've learned things from these quizzes. When I take the tests at the end, it's basically things that like I've grown up knowing, just because things have changed.
Josh just handed me this text that he's not sure whether or not he can read. And the answer is, you better not read this.
Yeah, it's pretty good though, right?
I mean, it's a funny joke.
It's a line I'm going to use.
And speaking of all of
Off-air.
these changes in the world and the way businesses and the behavior of the employees and all that, this is something that we would have been all over 15, 20 years ago. Nowadays, no. But very funny.
That is good. CPA Jesus said that for CPAs, you got to take 40 hours of classes every year of continuing professional education to keep your license.
I have a
There's
question.
a lot of jobs like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have a question. And if I get it wrong, hopefully I can just try and answer the question again. Is a CPA a lawyer?
No, it's an accountant.
Oh,
I believe
dang
it's
it. Okay,
certified public accountant.
Let me try again. Is a CPA an accountant?
Yes.
Yeah, there you
Nice.
go.
Good job.
100%.
Done it.
Take the test again.
100%.
Well, there you go. We got Janelle Klein coming into the program a little bit later. So
I wonder if she's had to do that for the different networks she's worked for.
Oh, God, I
I
bet
would
she-
think so.
I bet she knows everything there is to know about corporate behavior tests, or whatever the formal term is that we've been discussing this morning.
I think Randy Shaver even has to take our tests, doesn't he?
Oh, really? Oh, I suppose,
If he
yeah.
gets paid
I
by the
bet, yeah.
company, yeah. If you get paid by this
He's
year.
the highest paid employee here, so I would think so.
What's the deal? Yeah, so Janelle Klein's going to be here later. So maybe we'll have to wait till tomorrow to talk about sex noises. I'll put that aside for tomorrow. I was thinking maybe we'd talk about sex noises, but Janelle doesn't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve that.
I just want to know what the hell that is. What is a sex noise? Like the creaking of the bed?
Yes.
The creaking of your knees as you age?
The opening of the wallet to get cash out afterwards.
The heavy breathing from exhaustion?
Yeah.
Sex noises. We'll save that.
I think
But
there's
we're-
a song called Sex Noises.
Oh, wow.
By a rapper.
By a rapper.
Lil TJ. Oh, that's Sex Sounds.
You were close.
Yeah, Lil TJ. I'd like to take that again. Sex Sounds by Lil TJ.
Nice job.
It's
Maybe
impressive.
it's Che.
100%.
Impressive that you know such things. So there you go. Thanks for dialing in. It's just getting started here. We're just getting started. It's only a little after 6 o'clock in the morning, but we're going to take a break. Come right back on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
I used to be so down with dudes giving me pet names right off the bat. The second a dude, I first meet him and he calls me baby, I'm like, and we're done here. Goodbye.
Really?
Yeah, don't call me babe, baby, boo, bye.
Interesting. That's
but
a big
I
red
can call
flag.
them boo because I call everybody boo.
What if that's their excuse?
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, you don't. You're a man. You move different than me.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, sometimes a story is difficult to talk about because it's just so damn repulsive. Sometimes we humans, I mean, we're just worse than animals. Animals, I said. A gal in Phoenix, Arizona, had to go ahead and sue the DoorDash folks because one of their drivers reportedly whacked off on her food.
Oh, no.
No. Some people just can't take a joke. It's her problem.
You know what you do with this effing guy? You put him in jail for, let's go with 30 years for this. I think he should do 30 years. And because of the nature of his crime, every meal this guy eats while he's in the cooler should include the same kind of toppings that he left on that poor lady's food in Phoenix. I'm sure you could find quite a few tenants there at the Stony Lonesome who would donate, if you know what I mean.
I'd provide. He deserves it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Have one of those inmates cut one loose on his prison goulash every stinking day. This lady in Phoenix, back a few months ago, she ordered a meal from a joint called Filiberto's Mexican Food.
Sounds delicious.
Mexican food.
What's the problem over there?
That's just it's so holy. It's so wonderful. You don't want to ruin something like that.
And then you got to think, I think there's a Joshulet on here, but it is Mexican food. You'd have to struggle whether or not you're going to eat it.
Yeah. Could it be sour cream?
Like, I could eat around a hair.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't mind that. Or like,
sour cream. That took a while to sink in. Yuck.
Or like, honestly, maybe a Band-Aid's too far. But yeah, definitely hair. I'd eat around hair.
I did have questions.
Would you eat around hair?
That's her favorite shape of hair, yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I do something wrong for you? Sorry.
Some of us have eaten around hair before.
Just push it out of the way if you got to.
She ordered a meal from a joint called Filiberto's Mexican Food. The order was assigned to a fella named Jeffrey Jacobs. That's the delivery guy, the double J, Jeffrey Jacobs. This sick maniac got her food. He picked it up. And there he was, parked in the Filiberto's parking lot. And then he went ahead and spanked his little disgusting monkey and finished on the Mexican food. A Filiberto's employee saw the guy whipping one loose with the food as his target. Can you even imagine how disturbing that would be to see another human being doing that?
I don't even think I'd believe it at first.
Yeah, you'd have to assume, well, that's not really. He's not really doing that.
He can't be. Oh, maybe he is.
This Filiberto's employee told this Jacobs animal, dude, you got to throw that food away. You can't deliver that to somebody. Jacobs ignored the employee and drove away. The worker then called DoorDash to tell him what Jacobs had done. the worker told DoorDash to tell the woman not to eat the food that was being delivered to her. Unfortunately, the woman claims it took DoorDash 40 minutes to call her. And by that time, the dude had delivered the food and she had already ate it. She maybe even licked the plate, just, oh, God, that was good. My buddy Curtis is a plate licker, and he's a 52-year-old man. Anyway.
I haven't seen that move in a long time.
In the lawsuit that this woman filed against DoorDash, the woman says the incident has caused her emotional pain and suffering. Yeah, I bet it has. And she hasn't said just yet how much money she wants from the DoorDash folks. That sucks. Sucks that they didn't call her a little faster, but I imagine, they maybe didn't take the whole thing seriously, and they're fielding orders all night long, right? At DoorDash, that's my assumption. She had already thrown it smooth down. What's the matter with
That'd be tough to come back from.
I'd almost rather not find out.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We'd all, I think, rather not know. We probably all have consumed something repulsive. I don't want to know.
I'd thought that happened to me once. I was relatively sure. Still went through with it.
I remember that. Wasn't it a salad or something?
That was pasta.
Pasta.
And it turns out to be a mushroom?
Yeah. There was it was odoriferous in a way that I had recognized. But I don't know that this usually is how the pasta smells. And then I'd brought it up on the air at the time. People were like, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the mushrooms. Made me feel a little better. The guy that delivered it, he let me know it's just the mushrooms. Don't even worry about it, just the mushrooms.
Now, I don't personally give two pumps about Elon Musk. I've heard the name a few times. He's very rich. He invented the internet or something like that, right?
No, did not.
Elon Musk did not invent the internet?
He's the Tesla guy, the space guy. He bought Twitter.
Space guy. Oh, wow. Okay, I had it way wrong. I had other things in mind. I never would have guessed Tesla or... What was the other thing he said? A space guy?
Yeah, he's got rocket ships and spaceships and
made Space Jam.
He did not make Space Jam.
Apparently this Musk guy has made an offer to the website Wikipedia. He'll give Wikipedia $1 billion if they change their name to Dickipedia.
I hope they do. Simply because I always feel guilty when I never give them $1 during their fundraising campaigns, despite that I use the website constantly.
I'm on it every hour of every day for something.
This comes up later. That gimmick you were just talking about comes up later. $1 billion if Wikipedia changes their name to Dickipedia. This all happened on Twitter. He made the offer. A journalist stepped into the mix. He was watching this happen on Twitter, and he suggested that Wikipedia just go along with it and then change their name back to Wikipedia after they collect the monies. But then Musk dumped an added condition to his offer. He said that Wikipedia would have to keep the name Dickipedia for at least 1 year.
He's got that sense of humor. Is
he a funny guy?
Yeah, he can be. I mean, so his vehicles, right? The vehicles you can buy of his, the model numbers spell out sexy. They couldn't get the Model E. He wasn't able to get that name, so it was a 3, right? So you have your Model S, your Model 3, your Model X, and your Model Y. And then also he's got like the whoopee cushion that you can move around inside to a different seat. And then also for a while they had a fart sound effect that you could use as your horn. I thought that the government stepped in and said, nah, you got to have a horn.
That's all kind of cute. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Because I'd be crossing the street and there's this vehicle coming where there's no engine noise, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you just hear a fart. I turn around and laugh, and all of a sudden I just flew over somebody's windshield.
That'd be a good way to go.
I knew he'd be killed by flatulence.
At least you got one good laugh out before you went out.
Now, that money thing you were talking about a minute ago, Josh, how Wikipedia, every once in a while, they ask you for some monies. Did any of you know, did all of you already know, that Wikipedia is owned by something called the Wikimedia Foundation? All right? And Musk is critical of this setup where they ask you for money. He said, have you ever wondered why the Wikimedia Foundation wants so much money? It certainly isn't needed to operate Wikipedia. You can literally fit a copy of the entire text on your phone. So what's the money for? Inquiring minds want to know. I just thought I'd throw that in there since you brought up the...
I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to know where like every single cent of his penny or where his money came from too. And like what he's using it for.
Well,
probably hot mamas.
Spaceships, hot mamas. Giving his kids names no one can pronounce.
Well, what are his kids' names?
I can't pronounce
Gosh,
them.
who knows? Numbers and letters, like symbols?
I know there's a way to pronounce them. I just forget how it's done.
He's got a wife and whatnot?
Yeah, sure does.
Makes babies?
He does.
Why would you ever get married if you're a billionaire? Anybody want to answer that?
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, there is no answer.
No.
What? He's got 11 kids? I did not know that.
That's a little much.
What? What? Are you serious? Holy.
The first story I'm clicking on.
Yeah, he's not married currently.
Oh, I thought he was married to that lady.
He's got 11 kids.
They're just boyfriend, girlfriend?
No, I think she divorced him.
Did she now? That's a good idea. Divorce a billionaire.
Yeah, you get half.
Okay, that is a good idea.
I bet he's got a pretty nice prenup.
I'm sure she's getting something, though.
Well, now I don't know if it's a good idea.
Half!
Yeah, like here's one of the names. Okay, I had no idea there was all these other kids. I had just heard the more recent ones. XAEA-XII.
Oh, that's made up. He doesn't really put these names on his kids, does he?
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
Rich people, they're different.
Well, we all know that, but come on. That's insanity right there.
Technomechanicus.
Come on. This is a joke.
I said, he's kind of got that sense of humor, right?
All right.
Exa Dark Sida Rail? Real Musk?
Half!
Kai, it's a relatively normal one. No
Kai.
Saxon. Sax off. Saxon.
Like Saxon, like the English metal band from the...
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought you said Zaxxon, the old video game. Boy, I like to play that.
Oh, that was a good game.
But here's the deal. We could make some money for the radio station, I suppose. Maybe we have some rich listeners. Send us an offer on what you want us to change the name of this radio show to and how much you'll pay us for the change. We'd be heroes at company headquarters if we pulled in a pile of money for them by just changing the name of the show. Even if you don't have money, even if you have nothing to offer. If you could change the name of this show, what would you change it to? 651-989-9393. Send us in a few ideas on the text machine.
Ice Castle Jesus, a Tesla owner, you got to let us know if this is true. Ice Castle Jesus said he heard of a Tesla. If you say open B-hole, but say the whole thing, it'll open the charging door on the car. I wouldn't be surprised.
There's some fun involved over there in the Musk family.
Yeah, I know he's a polarizing figure. I'm just saying he does have, that kind of sense of humor.
I don't know.
He can be pretty funny.
This is all brand new to me.
Yeah, he finds a way to put humor into everything, just about.
Well, that's a nice thing. Let me guess. The polarizing part are his political views.
That is correct.
Nobody's safe from horrible behavior. Nobody. Even the folks working at the local brewery. Some dude took a squeege in the beer tank at a brewery.
Oh, that ain't right.
This was at a Chinese brewery, don't you know? They call the place Sing Tao Brewery. They got a video over there of a dude hauling it out and dumping a leak into the beer tank.
Those are pretty big, right? I'm thinking like, yeah, those huge ones they
Big
have in the
vats?
back room there. Yeah.
That's a big stinking tank, I'll tell you that right now. It says here, Cubby, the Tsingtao Brewery is now facing a brouhaha.
It is a brouhaha, isn't it?
And I'm sure right now beer snobs are sending in hilarious texts where they claim that this penis beer couldn't possibly taste worse than, insert the beer that you love to make fun of. In the video, the dude is wearing a worker man's uniform, like a jumpsuit, a onesie. What do you call that? A coveralls type of a look?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets it out, and he takes a squeeze. But the folks who run Tsingtao Brewery say neither the person who urinated in the tank nor the person who took the video were, quote, direct employees of Tsingtao. Yeah, I'd say that too if it was my effing brewery. They also say that once they found out there was pus in the tank, they sealed it shut. I doubt they plan on canning that batch up for anybody.
Well, there's a market for it, I'm sure, somewhere.
Of course, there were jokes on social media. One person upped and said, I've always said their beer tastes like horse pee. Turns out I was wrong. Yeah, they can't be too happy about this, by God, over there at Tsingtao Brewery.
What was the hat he was wearing?
I thought it was a hard hat, but I could be mistaken.
Maybe it's just a trick of the picture, but it's huge. He looks like a cone head. Maybe it's just part of the picture. All right, we have an update from a Tesla owner from Beer and Pizza Cheeses. Hubba.
Tesla owners.
I own a Tesla Y, and yes, the charging door opens when you say open beehole, but you have to say the whole thing.
Isn't that?
That's so fun.
That is something.
Imagine somebody walking by and going, okay,
well, you said so.
Now, you guys might need to hold my hand on this one. This is a wild one right here. And difficult to understand for a person like me who is way behind in understanding all the fancy schmancy high-tech things at the ready these days. So help a pimp out if you can. From what I understand here, a documentary filmmaker type character out there in England, he put together a documentary called The Great Amazon Heist, where for some reason he infiltrates an Amazon warehouse with a hidden camera to, I guess, uncover what he thinks are shady business dealings. And he even went as far as to try and get I'll get there. He even went as far as to try and get bottles of human urine disguised as energy drinks to be sold on Amazon's website.
Ugh. By a couple of yellow bulls.
I guess to prove they're not paying attention and this and that. We'll get there. The PP drink that he came up with, he called it Release. It's a cute name.
Ashley's a fan.
Yeah.
Each bottle was filled with the urine of Amazon delivery drivers. They were originally trucker bombs. He gathered up Amazon driver trucker bombs and bottled it up. And apparently Amazon listed the stuff on their website. The documentary maker goes by the name of Uba Butler. Did Elon Musk name any of his children Uba?
I didn't see one.
Maybe one day.
OOBAH. The documentary guy is named Uba Butler. He got himself hired by Amazon. He pretended just to be a regular cat looking for work. He ends up interviewing delivery drivers. They ended up telling him that they, have a tough gig. They're penalized for slow deliveries. They don't have time to take a whiz. So they whiz in bottles. They create trucker bombs. Uba went out and gathered some of the trucker bombs up, and next thing you know, he's trying to market the stuff as a drink on Amazon. He says there are very few checks and balances in place. Bottled piss was for sale online at one point. No members of the public were actually, they were purchased. No members of the public were actually sent bottles of whiz. Instead, he asked a group of his friends to make the purchases to prove his point. Amazon is not terribly pleased with this dude's act. The bottom line is the theme to the documentary is that it's remarkably simple to outwit one of the world's biggest companies. Why this guy is so concerned with what happens at Amazon, I don't know, but he wasn't done yet. He also got his nieces, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, to purchase products that are only intended to be sold to adults. In at least 4 examples, legally required age verification measures were not in place at either the point of sale or delivery. By placing orders with voice control through Alexa, the little girls were able to order knives, saws, and rat poison to their front door. And this Uba also goes after Amazon for their taxes or something boring like, I'll save you from that. An Amazon rep says that this year's documentary is a, quote, heavily distorted picture of our processes and operations that do not reflect the realities of shopping with or working for Amazon.
I was looking at a picture of those cute little girls with all the knives and stuff. It was pretty fun. No idea if it's true, but it was pretty fun.
But apparently he had bottles of piss for
5
sale.
hour and a pee.
So there you go.
Well, you know, I mean, hey, there's a market for that, not in a kinky way, but of course people trying to pass tests and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Supposedly you can buy that stuff online.
Definitely.
Don't know if Amazon sells it.
You know, being a driver for Amazon or any of those other delivery companies, tough gig. We've discussed that up and down. Tough gig.
Oh yeah, they always look like they're working their asses off.
Oh, yeah, the guy that comes to my building, he's sprinting in and out.
You know, busting your ass all day, hoisting boxes. You don't have a lot of time for breaks or making a deuce. But I always thought that maybe because I spent a lot of my youth in warehouses, whenever I've seen video of an Amazon warehouse, I always thought it looked like a good time. Just looked like a fun gig.
High tech, certainly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is it high tech? What do you mean? How is it high tech?
Just like, you know, with the robots picking stuff and just,
I mean, I didn't know that.
It's insane that, like, I ordered something last night at 8:30. It showed up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, those are people working their asses off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Crazy. I wish I could just say, hey, don't worry about it. I'm not in that big of a hurry.
No rush. When you get time.
I didn't know they had the robots. I just always saw video of dudes just kind of taping up boxes, and I always liked that, you know, when I was in the warehouse gig, you know, just kind of hanging out with your bros and getting the job done. All right, you must be out of your damn mind to operate like this. Let's see what happened here now. Some wacky effing prick in West Virginia. He was not prepared to what life is like with a new puppy in the house. He got himself a puppy.
That's wonderful, but it can be hard.
He named the puppy Baby D McGee. I'm kidding. I have no idea what he named.
Oh, I like that. Baby D.
I'm gonna write that one down.
I was going to say, that sounds like something you'd name a pet.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. You've had, whether it was you or a girlfriend in the past, had some funny names for pets.
Well, there was one gal that I knew who named her cat Poo Poo Butt.
Poo Poo Butt, yeah.
Dated a girl who named her cat Dank after dank weed.
Was she a pothead?
She enjoyed the drugs.
She did, huh?
Dank. That's cute. I like that as a name.
That's
Or cat.
Stupid.
I don't care for it.
I'm trying to think if I ever had
trying
any,
to be rude.
if I ever had any other wacky names for pets.
Maybe it's just nicknames you've said in the past.
Oh, I've definitely had nicknames. Yeah, sure. Okay. So this guy got him.
The one you just said sounds exactly like some of the nicknames you've made up to me.
Sure. Guy got himself a puppy. The puppy did what puppies do. It sprayed turds all over his house.
Sure.
And this guy, 32-year-old fella called Randy, apparently he wasn't able to deal with that. Couldn't handle the puppy, leaving little puppy turds. Couldn't deal with it. So he turned to fire to solve his little puppy problem. He burned the puppy.
No.
Poop.
Yep.
This dude was either unable or unwilling to clean up after the puppy, so he set his house on fire instead.
That is like the best thing about it being a puppy is, yeah, they do have accidents, but it's so easy to clean up when they're little like that.
Randy is now accused of 1 count of arson for setting his home smooth on fire after he became, quote, upset with the puppy for defecating all over the house.
I'm tempted to set my house on fire with all the box elder and stink bugs we've got running around.
Oh, you got the stink bugs too?
Yeah.
So sorry.
Never had those before.
We've been hit by stink bugs really bad.
Air year.
Yeah, it's all box elder bugs have always been. Well, I should say just the last few years have been really bad.
Oh, I hate those so much.
Yeah, I'm burning the house down. It's about time.
Can I help? Sounds like fun.
Burning my house down?
Yeah.
You can't afford to get in my neighborhood.
That's a good point. They don't let me in.
Yeah, there's a pretty hefty cover charge.
Yeah.
What have you been doing with the stink bugs? Do you vacuum them up? That's what I do. I vacuum them up.
Yeah. I looked what you're supposed to do if they make it in the house. The box elder bugs, they get in the house constantly. Not so much stink bugs. Those are just kind of on the back of the house all over the place.
Oh, the stink bugs get inside my house. That's the main pest. That's the main problem that I have at that stupid house that I live in. And I vacuum them up, which is kind of fun. The other day I looked in the tank of the vacuum, and there must have been 1,000 stink bugs in there.
Really?
All of them deader than disco.
Oh, I've never had to deal with those.
I looked it up, and you're not supposed to smush them because of the stink.
Right.
Yeah, you're supposed to vacuum them up.
Right, and when they first started coming in the house, I'm slapping them with my hand like it was a fly or something, and then wondering why my hand smells like a 20-year-old bait bucket.
I tried reasoning with them. I did what I could. I built them a little shed out back that they could go hang out in, like kind of a man cave for bugs. Nothing. So you got to vacuum them up.
Let's get back to this Randy guy. Set his house on fire because his little adorable puppy was deucing all over the house. When he called 911, he told them that the fire originated in the attic. It's a cute line. But he also, he wasn't aware that effing firemen and firewomen can figure those kinds of things out pretty quickly. The fire marshals could tell that multiple little fires had been set all up and down the house. In one example, you'll like this. In one example, the folks from the local fire department could tell that female hygiene products were used to start a fire or two. Dude, it was a tampon and puppy turds fire. You never heard of that before, have you?
Gross, no.
Once the fire department told effing Randy that they knew he was lying, he admitted that he set the fires because he was upset with the puppy for dropping little turd piles all over the house. This effing dope even said that he quickly set up a GoFundMe to help pay for the fire damage because he, quote, didn't really have a lot of money. Well, you could have sold your house. That could have made you a little money, but not anymore, son.
There's a thinker for you.
Randy's in jail. I'm not sure whatever happened to the puppy. The bubby.
I'm sure the puppy will be fine.
I'm not so sure, Ashley.
Well, let's hope he...
Probably not going to like fire for a while.
It's felt like I've pooped fire before. You guys, you've been in that situation, haven't you?
Uh-huh.
You've all been in that situation.
Never, ever, not once.
Yeah. That happens.
Can I tell the sorry about your bubby story again, Josh?
I like that story. It's one of the only redeeming qualities of this person.
Yes, you're right. A dude that used to work here, total scumbag, hated his guts. But he had one redeeming quality one afternoon. This was many years ago. And my beloved Springer Spaniel, the best girl in the whole world, Megan Marie, had passed away from cancer. She was, 15, 16 years old. Best
a
girl.
long life.
She had a hell of a run, Smashly, and on top of that, she was the best girl in the whole world. She died. And this scumbag that we worked with, he knew about it. I don't know how he heard about it, but he heard that Megan Marie had checked smooth out. So the next day, after Megan Marie punched out, big argument in the building between scumbag and another guy. I'll call that other guy Donnie. Donnie and the scumbag. This is the old, you don't hear these anymore in the radio station. Full-on, full-volume screaming match between two fellow employees. Using foul language. Earlier we were discussing, all these behavior quizzes we have to take through the company to make sure that we all, stay in our best behavior. What's the formal term for that, Josh? The
corporate training?
corporate training. Yes, training videos and quizzes we have to take. This was back before anyone even thought of that. So these guys are full on Scumbag and Donnie. You suck, you bastard son of a... I hate your guts, you're the dumbest son of a bitch. They're screaming at each other. And I'm kind of hovering around the office because this is good entertainment, right? Listening to these two guys, I didn't like either one of them really, so listening to them insult each other was a lot of fun for me. And I keep walking by the office to get a little dose of it, and I walk by, and the scumbag notices me, and he goes, in the middle of screaming at Donnie and telling him that he's going to fire him, that he hates his guts, the scumbag goes, hey, Nikki, sorry about your bubby.
Another redeeming quality. When that guy wanted to, he could be really funny. I mean, honestly, there were times where I was laughing my ass off. He could be absolutely hilarious.
All right, fine.
You got to admit.
You're right.
Yeah, super
You're right.
fun.
You're right. We're going to close things out back in England here. For Cripe's sake, can't anybody properly dispose of a sex doll? Again, cops thought they had a dead human carcass laying out in the woods, and it ends up being an F-doll. In this case, the police described the doll as, quote, dirty, broken, and overused. So the prior owner of this doll must have really been giving her hell.
I really had never considered, if I had a sex doll, how I would get rid of it once it's been used up. I mean,
maybe burn it.
Chainsawing it and wrapping it in a some plastic and dumping it at the side of the road seems like a bad idea. But what do you do?
What did you say? Actually, burn
the garbage can?
Yeah.
Why can't we just put it in the garbage bag and put it in the garbage can?
Okay,
Oh,
so
I don't know.
you have half a sex doll sticking out of your garbage can?
Well, I'm sure you can fold it in half, and I'm not trying to be cute with that. I'm sure you can. It's a rubber doll. You just smash it into a bag and put it in the trash.
As long as it didn't have batteries or anything.
Take it on a
Why
fishing
would
trip
concerned
with
with throwing batteries away?
Yeah,
you're
I'm
not allowed
not
to
picturing
throw
the blow-up
batteries in
ones.
the-
What do batteries have to do with anything?
You got to recycle those at Best Buy.
Yeah,
I've never recycled a battery in my life. I'm against that. I've never recycled a battery. I won't go along with it.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the ones you deflate, the legit ones that people are spending some big money on that confuse passerbys and cops when they first see it.
So the garbage guys are going to make a little fun of you? Who cares? Just put it in the trash can. Quit dumping it in the woods. We got the cops and the SWAT team, forensic scientists running out because everyone keeps throwing them in the woods.
Hey, nobody's suggesting throwing it in the woods. I'm just asking you, what is the protocol? Because I would feel pretty weird using a Sawzall to cut a sex doll in half. Like a bit of a psychopath. So it fits in my garbage can. I don't have one of those 96-gallon garbage cans you guys have.
All of a sudden you throw it away, they find it in a landfill, and they're like, the DNA comes back to you.
Oh, that's the other thing. How do I scrub it? Right, you become a serial killer getting rid of this thing.
You do the same thing when we get rid of empty beer cans after a party in high school. You just go down to the local gas station or fast food place and toss in the dumpster.
It's time to be adults and put them in our own garbage cans. What are we so afraid of?
Take it on a
It's the
fishing trip with
process.
some
It's not
cinder
the
blocks.
garbage can. It's the process
Yes.
of fitting it in there.
I
Your
think
neighbor looks outside and you're just shoving a leg in the garbage.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm just shoving it in there, I'm going head first, so it's just legs sticking out.
Let's go put it in your neighbor's garbage can. You know, they set it out the night before.
I don't know
Oh, just see him get yelled at by his wife.
What is this?
That's pretty good.
Get rid of a sex doll and end a marriage.
Listen to this. They closed off a road for 31 hours because they thought they had a crime scene on their hands in this town in England where somebody dumped their F-doll in the woods. They had a damn forensic pathologist there, to further inspect. And then they realized it was just somebody's hump-off doll.
This person said they work at a recycling center and they get sex dolls there all the time. The guys laugh. We end up sitting them up on display for a while before we get rid of them.
No name here, but a 320 number just said, hose it out and have a garage sale.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Cousins says they have plays they will call that require him to hold the ball longer when Bosa's out. I guarantee you in the next two plays, they're going to run something because, hey, Bosa's out. They have what's called a ball holder, right? They'll hold the ball longer. It's a football term, folks, and see what happens. Yeah, write that term down.
Yeah, Bosa's still out, Pete. You think another,
again.
What do you call it, ball holder? A ball holder?
Just ball, singular, not plural, singular.
I said ball holder. I got it.
Have you guys been watching the Eli Manning and his brother special Monday Night Football edition thing?
Not a ton. I usually just kind of wait till the next day and look for the highlights.
I haven't been bothering with that either. There they are right there, Eli Manning and his brother.
It was cute, though, yesterday during the game when they kept going back to them. I liked hearing from them. That was fun.
What happened?
When they went back to them during halftime and stuff, the Manning brothers, they were talking to them.
Talking to who?
Yeah, who's them?
I don't know, the main person that does the halftime report.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go along with that. Real quick, I wanted to dump this on you. Earlier we were talking about Elon Musk. He's got all the money in the world. He's a funny guy, according to folks who follow his career, whatever that is. But he has offered $1 billion to Wikipedia if they change their name officially to Dickipedia. So we all thought, well, what if we were to change the name of this here program? We asked our listeners to text in with ideas as to what we would change the name of this program to if they had the choice. This is my favorite one so far. Honky's Yapping.
I just found the name for our podcast today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I thought the San Francisco 49ers were supposed to be tough guys.
Well, that defense everybody talks about.
They're garbage.
That didn't look so good yesterday, did it?
What did the Vikings put up, 400 yards of offense on these guys?
Yeah.
They're garbage. Vikings beat the 49ers on Monday Night Football last night, 22-17.
That was fun to watch.
I didn't see much of it. I just saw the ass end. But I don't see anything special about the 49ers at all.
I'm not going to lie. When Kirk Cousins threw the first interception, I was like, all right, here we go again. Why do they like to start off every single game with throwing an interception?
Because you haven't been a very good person in your life. I think that's why.
Is it you to blame?
Oh, no. I hope not. They do lose every time I go watch them play.
Well, that's not good.
I'm glad you weren't there last night then.
I didn't see like I said, I didn't see much of the game. But what I saw from the 49ers didn't impress me at all. The Vikings beat them by 5. Sure, there was some drama there towards the end, but that Iowegian State quarterback, he screwed the pooch. Wonderful things happened in baseball's league championship series yesterday.
Definitely.
And we can get into that when Randy Shaver joins us. By damn, and what else was I going to cover? Oh, yeah, the Man Bear Pigs have a home game tonight. We'll tell you all about that in about 25 some odd minutes when Randy Shaver jumps in. But don't go nowhere because Cubby's News is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
Every Monday, Rich Eisen and Chris Brockman react to what's happening in the world of football on Overreaction Monday.
The AFC North. Not all 4 teams are going to make the playoffs.
More likely than not.
More likely than not, right?
Okay.
And I know they've been the king of this jungle for the last few seasons. The Cincinnati Bengals, Rich, are going to miss the playoffs this year.
This is an overreaction. Bengals are not only making the playoffs, they're winning this division. Again, for a third straight year.
Overreaction Monday, the podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit. He doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's the dude. Other than that, we want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park.
This is comforting. An off-duty pilot riding in the extra seat in the cockpit of a Horizon Air passenger jet tried to shut down the engines mid-flight Sunday. No big deal. And he had to be subdued by the crew.
Oh, no.
The pilot tried to activate the jet's fire suppression system mid-flight, the airline said, and if he was successful, he would have cut the flow of fuel to the engines. The flight's captain and First officer managed to subdue the suspect, who was off duty but authorized to sit in the cockpit. The airline said engine power was not lost, and the crew secured the aircraft without incident. The San Francisco-based flight diverted to Portland, Oregon, where it was met by officers who took 44-year-old Joseph Emerson into custody. The FBI office in Portland said it was investigating and can assure the traveling public there is no continuing threat.
What triggered him to do this? Is there an ideology associated with him looking to try and do this? Or is there just a mental instability? And what triggered this event? Why did he go at this time to try and shut off the engines in this airplane?
As you can imagine, he's in some serious trouble. He was held yesterday on 83 counts of attempted murder and reckless endangerment.
Yeah, that sounds like his plan. He was going to kill everybody.
And then 1 count of endangering an aircraft. In other airline news, a JetBlue plane tipped backward with its nose pointed skyward after it parked at a gate at JFK International in New York City Sunday night. The airline said the plane tipped due to a weight and balance issue when passengers began to deplane. The aircraft has been taken out of service for inspection.
Jesus.
No injuries were reported.
So it ended up kind of on its ass with the nose pointed straight up?
Yeah.
You know, I used to watch that television show quite regularly, Air Disasters. Entertaining stuff.
I remember you talking about that.
And I remember one where, back to the first story where the dude decided to cut the engines and try to kill everybody. I remember one story where some shady pilot I think he was off duty traveling with the regular folks, and he goes up and kind of raps on the door of the cockpit, and they knew the guy, and he's like, yeah, you guys take a break. I'll keep an eye on things. Yeah. But you're off duty. Don't you just want to just relax? No, you guys relax. Go ahead. Take a seat. Long, 10-hour flight. I'll handle things. Then he got in there and locked the friggin' door and just put everybody into the ocean.
Oof. Yeah, I left it out both for time and for not to terrify anybody who's waiting at the airport right now with their AirPods in.
Yeah, that's what I was looking to do.
But they listed a series of similar incidents.
Pilots they've meant to sabotage everything.
All from last week. Sorry. No, some in the distant past. That was my mistake.
And they're knocking on the door saying, dude, what are you doing in there? Stay back. And he just chucked everybody straight into the ocean.
A former New York City police officer was arrested last week and charged with selling fentanyl and heroin while on the job. 37-year-old Grace Baez had multiple conversations with a confidential source working with law enforcement about obtaining large quantities of fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine, prosecutors said. For example, she said that on October 11th, she could sell 2 kilos of fentanyl for $30,000 per kilo, along with an additional 400 grams of heroin, for which a price would be negotiated later. Prosecutors said Baez negotiated drug deals on duty.
That is shady.
Making a little money on the side there. Polk County deputies put a Florida third-grade teacher in detention Friday night after she was caught driving at nearly 3 times the legal blood alcohol limit.
Oof.
Deputies said 52-year-old Leslie Spence had bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and an odor of alcohol after being pulled over for swerving all over the road at 25 miles an hour. After failing her field sobriety test, she was placed under arrest. At one point, she said to the deputy, "My father is a lawyer, and he'll sue every single one of you."
Oh.
Our favorite sheriff, Grady Judd, said, "Children learn from adults and educators, so if you fall under both of those categories, it's imperative that you're setting a good example. Since Miss Spence failed to do that, we're going to use this as a teaching moment. Don't drive drunk. It's dangerous, and you'll end up in detention at the Polk County Jail."
That's right.
The elementary school teacher faces charges of driving under the influence with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 or higher. It was a very crappy day at a school for a teacher and her student. Disgusting security footage showed the moment a sewage pipe burst open at a technical school earlier this month in Russia, engulfing a teacher and a student in a high-pressured poop sludge onslaught.
Oh.
You can see this on 93x.com.
Yes.
Right? It looks like a meme. It doesn't look real.
It's bad.
Nick, remember when you and I got our colonoscopies and Randy Shaver kept sending us those poop memes and like pipes spewing turds and things like that?
He sent us a lot of gross
And he had a lot of them at the ready.
A lot of gross,
dozens.
liquefied feces memes. Yes, he was the best at that.
He really is good at that. And so this looks like it'll be a new one to his repertoire. The student was sitting on a bench in a hallway using his computer while the teacher looked on. Then suddenly the wall behind them was pierced open by the high-pressure force of a deluge of brown sewage, which covered the pair from head to toe in turds. The boy was knocked to the ground by the force of the revolting impact while the teacher ran away. Exposure to sewage can cause gastroenteritis, E. coli, and depending on where you get it, halitosis.
Now, I know that it doesn't quite compare to a sewage pipe, but my dad once gave himself a world-class facial with a clogged drain from a tub. And it was 30 years of just sludge. And, my brother and I grew up in the house.
No.
You know what young guys might do in the tub or the shower. And my dad, the pipe was clogged, and he's reaching up with the wrench. He's like, I'm going to get this damn thing. He wanted to, take the pipe apart. And when it gave way, it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Just the whole works just come down on his face. He takes his glasses off. His glasses, where his glasses were the only clean part of his face. Just jet black sludge, 30 years of tub semen.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of tub semen.
Dude, I thanked God that I was there to see that.
I mean, and those were some productive years in your youth, I'd imagine.
Yes.
I mean, now it wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, he wanted to get that sumbitch open so bad. I'm going to get it. By God, I swear I will. Splash!
2 children are facing multiple felony charges in connection with a June incident at a Massachusetts playground in which 4 youths were burned by acid poured onto slides. Police were called to the scene after a call about a caustic substance found on the recreational equipment, and it caused burn injuries to some children. The youngest victim was only 1. His skin was burned while coming down the slide. The boy's sister also injured after the substance burned through her clothing. Emergency crews who arrived on the scene tested the children and said pH tests showed high levels of acid in their body.
Once we learned the culpable parties were juveniles, along with Mass State Police and the FBI, a collaborative effort was made to identify those who were responsible and bring them to justice.
Firefighters soon determined the 3 slides had a pool cleaning acid poured down each of them. The acid was later discovered missing from a nearby pool supply storage area that was burglarized.
Mm-hmm.
People messing with the parks.
Couple of idiots.
How can you do something like that?
Messing with the parks?
Yeah. I just saw something on social media the other day of someone who jammed a stick in the middle of a slide. So if you go down the slide, the stick just basically slices you in half. Why?
What? That's social media, that's all. The government puts those together to mislead you.
Authorities are investigating a suspected arson fire at Edward Neal Elementary School in Burnsville yesterday afternoon. Responders were sent to the school about 1 p.m. after smoke alarms activated, and they found a small bathroom fire, which was quickly extinguished by the sprinkler system. All students and staff who were evacuated due to water and fire in the building have been accounted for, the department stated. The fire is suspected to be arson.
Never had any arson in school back in the day.
We had the fire alarms pulled.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, no
Oh,
arson.
God, we were kind of known for it. But I don't think I really should tell those stories even after all these years.
Probably not. A Minnesota man was hospitalized with serious injuries over the weekend after his 10-year-old hunting partner accidentally shot him in the butt. The incident occurred in Hubbard County during opening weekend of the youth deer hunting season. Police say the 50-year-old had accompanied the youth on a hunt earlier Sunday. Back at his truck, he instructed the kid to unload the rifle. While attempting to do so, the child apparently pulled the trigger with the bullet passing through both of the unfortunate fella's butt cheeks.
Good God.
I got them both.
Left to right or right to left, I'm not sure. He was transported to a nearby hospital and subsequently brought to a larger hospital in Fargo. He'll be sleeping on his stomach for a while. And in Becker Township, a 12-year-old girl shot her 45-year-old father in the leg after she shot a deer and then accidentally fired a second round. The dad was taken to North Memorial Health Hospital in Robbinsdale. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources opens deer rifle hunting to youths 10 to 17 for a weekend each year. Children ages 10 to 13 must be accompanied by adults, and they must tag their own deer. All participating minors are required to have a valid firearm deer license, and those 12 and older must also have a firearm safety certificate or an apprentice hunter validation. They'll have some, thank goodness nobody was injured further. They'll have a couple good stories down the road.
You think if
you shot me in the butt, man.
Yeah, if you got shot in the ass, Josh, you think you'd have the presence of mind to dump that great line from the Denzel Washington movie Training Day?
Which one?
Where he goes, "Ah! You shot me in the ass!" I love that part of the movie. That whole movie's fun, but...
Using his cell phone to film up women's skirts as they shopped in Scottsdale, police in Arizona said upon arresting Fabian Cauldron for voyeurism, they found a large and disturbing collection of more than 200 images of his victims on his device, amassed over several weeks. Accused of pretending to shop in various stores in Scottsdale and Glendale, Arizona, including a Sephora, Urban Outfitters, and World Market. Police allege the 27-year-old would crouch low to the floor before placing his phone on the ground between the women's legs. He was actually caught red-handed by a victim's friend on one occasion. The friend managed to snap a photo of him as she confronted him, and he fled.
Security cameras at the Scottsdale Quarter Sephora store caught him at least 4 separate times. Police say Fabian Cauldron did this back on September 30th, then came back to the store this past weekend. That's when someone called the cops, and they were able to identify him at another store nearby.
Store security footage reportedly showed him moving from a Sephora to a nearby World Market to commit the same offenses. When police stopped him, they said they reviewed his phone. They believe 240 upskirt videos and photos represent at least 20 victims.
Oh.
That's a lot.
He also allegedly provided police with a bogus name before finally giving his real one. Police identified and arrested a man accused of exposing himself at a Port Orange, Florida Walmart. Police said 23-year-old Nathaniel Poole IV was seen loitering in the air freshener aisle at the store. And when he was alone with the victim, he exposed his genitals. In an incident report, police said the man appeared to be recording on his cell phone and reportedly asked, "Which one do you recommend?" The report states that the victim told the man, "I recommend you put your D away, you disgusting pervert."
Oh, my God.
According to a news release, when the victim yelled for help, the suspect ran off and entered the passenger side of a vehicle. Police didn't say how Poole IV was apprehended.
He had a getaway driver?
Yeah.
Imagine being that guy.
Either that or the driver's side door doesn't work and he just moved on.
That's an elaborate penis shower when you have a getaway driver.
Mom, go!
Yeah. Usually the penis showers just run off or get on a bicycle or something.
Yeah,
you
they're
know.
usually solo.
Guy's got a getaway driver.
4 people from New York were arrested in Connecticut over the weekend after police found them using rat traps to fish mail from postal drop-off boxes. Recent mail thefts in Fairfield are prompting police there to warn people about where they send their mail from, especially ones that include checks. In a post on Facebook, the Fairfield Police Department said officers located a vehicle with the engine running in front of a store Saturday with at least one person sleeping inside, which prompted an investigation. In plain view, officers observed a large amount of open mail. They took the driver into custody, set up a perimeter, and with the assistance of police canines, 3 additional suspects were found in the area. It was determined the suspects used a belt with an adhesive from rat traps attached to it in order to steal the mail.
When he was scrolling through his phone, the officers were able to observe pictures of checks. And then in the vehicle, they also saw miscellaneous mail.
It was determined the suspects incriminated himself. Apparently, he would they used this line.
Whatever sticks, they just fish it out.
Whatever sticks, they'd fish it out. The suspects are scheduled to appear in court early next month.
Well, damn.
An Edina woman broke a Guinness World Record by balancing 30 swords on her body in 1 minute. She said she started learning to balance swords in 2004 when she was taking Middle Eastern dance classes. And over the years, she worked the skill of balancing 1 or 2 swords on her body into her belly dancing routines. She said she trained for 15 to 30 minutes per session multiple times a week to refine her technique. She was eventually able to balance 30 swords in the allotted 1 minute, earning the Guinness World Records title.
When you look at the swords on her arm, it doesn't look that crazy impressive, you know?
Well, then do 31 then, Ashley, if you're such a big shot.
No, I mean, like, the pictures are deceiving because, yeah, I could never do that, but...
Have they officially named this woman Queen of the Renaissance Festival?
I know what you're saying, though, Ashley. It reminds me we were at a live broadcast once, and a couple of white-gloved gentlemen. They wheeled out a glass case full of $10,000. I'd never seen that amount of money in my entire life. I couldn't wait to see it. And somebody was going to win this $10,000 in cash, and we looked at it and thought, that looks like $50. Yeah. I never would have guessed that. It was so disappointing.
It was interesting. We were very excited because neither one of us had ever seen that kind of money in our lifetime, and it was just a couple of neat little stacks that you could fit into your back pocket.
Yeah. It's like, I expected like 10 big buff guys to have to carry it in.
Yeah, duffel bag.
Oh, boy, that was a letdown. The Milli Vanilli documentary special begins streaming today on Paramount+. The documentary tells the story of two musicians, Robert and Fabrice, and features interviews with the real singers, record executives, the producer mastermind behind the deception, and exclusive interviews with Rob and Fab. Then on Netflix, the stand-up special, Pete Holmes' I Am Not For Everyone. The comic delivers a set on his awkward post-prostate exam hug, a devilish Midwest meeting, and his mom's voicemail glitches. We missed this one yesterday, so a heartfelt happy belated birthday to Wisco Dump Truck Jesus. A belated happy anniversary to wishes to the sexy She Loves Her Wine and Liquor Jesus from her Aussie bloke, I'm Her Liquor 18-wheeler Australian Kiss Jesus.
Damn.
Happy birthday to snow blowing off my car on the road Jesus. And happy birthday to St. Pauli Girl Jesus from Tater Tot Podcast Jesus, who says, for the record, we are the couple that actually invented 69, which is an inside podcaster joke for those who have read our podcast descriptions in the past. Forever we had on there that we were going to interview the couple who invented 69. And here they are.
Yeah, I missed that.
I forgot about that gimmick.
It took me a second, too.
That was fun.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you, St. Pauli Girl Jesus, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
He's very hairy and has a great disposition. Like I said, he loves to hug and he loves to give kisses.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Quick throw, and this is a fight for the ball. Charvarius Ward and Jordan Addison. Ward's got it, and a takeaway. Able to weave through traffic. Ball comes out. Vikings have it, and right now they're calling it Vikings ball. Cousins, end zone, Addison, touchdown. Cousins throws, and it's taken away by Addison for the touchdown. He and Charvarius Ward fighting for the ball, and this time Addison takes it for the score. Extra point is no good, by the way. Purdy down the middle, and intercepted by Bynum. Purdy threw it right to him. Purdy steps through, floats it, he's picked, and that's it. Bynum gets another. And that's a big one for Kevin O'Connell and his crew to get to 3 and 4.
What do you think of this guy, Cameron Bynum?
Can't say enough about what our defense did. Great turnovers and a lot of guys making plays.
I mean, you threw for the most that anybody has thrown against the 49ers. Like, how were you able to do that?
Without Justin at times, you feel it, not having him, but KJ stepped up, Jordan stepped up. Kevin did a phenomenal job calling the game, and it was a good plan, and we made enough plays.
Congratulations, Kurt.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right. I'll be damned. Randy Shaver and Janelle Klein have punched in here on the program. Co-workers, but very, very different people. Hello, Randy Shaver.
That is true. Hello.
Hello, Jungle Dam Jane.
Hello.
You do share some, what's the word I'm looking for? Similarities. You do share some similarities. One of you.
Sure.
One of you is in Iowegian, the other's from Faribault, Minnesota, which is basically northern Iowa, for the most part.
I want more elaboration on this, how we're similar and how we're different.
Well, you both work in TV. You both have very nice hair.
Oh.
There's some similarities.
Josh knows.
Thank you, Josh.
Josh knows all of these. Randy Shaver.
Thank you for noticing.
Stands out.
I thought you said the San Francisco 49ers were a bunch of bad guys. I thought you said they had some badass defense.
They did coming into that game. You wouldn't know by watching the game last night.
My damn. Captain Deathrocks put up 400-some yards on these guys.
Yeah, I would say the true key to the game last night was the Vikings' offensive line. It was the best game they have played probably in the last, 4 years, just collectively. I mean,
that's a hell of a stretch right there, 4 years.
They didn't give up a sack against one of the best defenses in the NFL. they gave Cousins so much time to be able to throw. And when he's got that kind of time, he's going to be super effective. And last night he was tremendous. And give him credit. I mean, that was one of the best game plans offensively that we've seen from that team in a while.
I thought this Bosa kid was supposed to be a bad guy.
Well, he is. I'm just saying, the Vikings' offensive line was the real true key to that win last night.
They did the job.
If they can play like that for the rest of the year, and the schedule softens itself over the next 6-7 weeks for sure, compared to what they've seen to this point, they've got a chance to get themselves back into the chase.
Brock Purdy, garbage.
He was not very good last night.
Garbage. The Vikings beat the 49ers on Monday Night Football last night, 22-17.
I didn't know Purdy had that good of a record. I thought Aikman said last night he was 10-1 since
as a starter.
As a starter?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Garbage. How about this thing that's happening here between Captain Deathrocks and the little kid from Southern California, Addison?
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
They got it cooking. Couple of touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, that play where he stripped it from the defensive back and took it for the touchdown was tremendous.
It was good revenge, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
It was really, really. I mean, I just think that there were so many big plays. You talk about football, and you're going to get maybe 5, 6, 7 big plays in a game that will change the direction of how the final score ends up.
Sure.
And that was one of those plays last night. I mean, easily could have gone the other way. The defensive back could have held on to it. Could have been an incomplete pass. Could have been so many different things. But his ability to take the ball away from the D-back and take it all the way for the touchdown was game-changing. So.
This Addison kid had 7 catches for 123 yards. Some are calling it his breakout performance. Janelle Klein, did you have the water bong going last night watching the ball game?
As usual.
Did you have a couple cold beers and order a pizza and watch the ball game?
You know me.
Usual.
As usual.
You didn't watch the ball game.
I did actually watch it.
I didn't tune in until the ass end because I was watching baseball, and we'll get to baseball, But late in the game, the boys are up by 5 points, much to my delight. My favorite players on the Vikings, the special teams unit, comes out to try to kick a 50-yard field goal to put the game almost out of reach, but they missed. That left the door open for the Iowegian State kid, Purdy, to pull off a miracle, but he got picked off.
What did Aikman say about Depot yesterday? I missed it somehow. People are texting in saying he said something about him.
Oh, I missed it too.
He gave him some love.
I missed that. I didn't.
We tried to find
I must have missed that too. I watched the game.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't hear that.
Was he talking about First Avenue? Because in the old days, wasn't First Avenue called the Depot?
Was that the same, or was it?
Was he giving out historical notes on the city of Minneapolis?
There was somebody that they kept talking about that every time they said it, I thought they were talking about DePaula.
Well, they're talking about Debo.
Oh, yeah, that kept messing me up. I'm like, oh, hey. Oh, no, I don't care about that guy.
You know what? I wonder if that's what people mistook it for. Or did he really say something about DePaula?
I'll bet he was talking about Debo.
That's a bummer.
Oh, that must have been what it was. Okay, Debo. Right. Boy, did Josh ever tell you the story about when Josh and his dad borrowed Debo their bicycle? It did not end well.
It ended terribly bad.
Wapple, were you there?
Yeah, I think I saw
when
it.
Josh and his dad came to get the bicycle back from Debo, that did not end well. You're right. The Vikings play their next game at a completely mundane and meaningless Green Bay. I talked to my dad on the telephone the other day because it was his birthday. And we were talking about the ball games and such, and he said, I don't even enjoy watching Green Bay anymore. They're not even fun to watch. Now that Karen is gone, he said they're just this boring, nothing team. I don't have any reason to watch Green Bay anymore. I said, yeah, it's like a new world.
The villain's gone. You need a villain.
But that's their next stop. Now they go to Green Bay.
What blows my mind about the Vikings, I was looking at some stuff. The Vikings are the only team in the NFL this year who does not have a rushing touchdown.
Well,
it's true.
Really?
Still do not.
Get the power play going.
It's insane. I'm like,
shoot.
Huh?
How is that even possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
We're coming into week 8. We don't have a rushing touchdown.
Right.
What is this? Janelle, did you know this? A listener's telling me that This can't be right. Joe Buck's. Maybe this is right. Joe Buck's wife's family. That's who called the game, right? Joe Buck.
Yeah. She's from here.
Yeah, they were here. Actually ran into them over the weekend. They were here. She's Michelle Beisner is her maiden name. I think that's what she still goes by. But her mom's family is from Minnesota.
I think now that it's here in front of me, I think you'd brought them up before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Buck's wife's family.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought they meant Joe's side of the family, and
she's related to, and now I won't remember his name, and I apologize. Gopher Sports Dick. He's an announcer, Randy.
Not a friendly guy?
No, he's.
Oh my gosh.
I won't remember. I'll get back to you. But she is related to somebody who is prominent in Gopher Sports.
Gopher Sports.
Yeah.
Siebert?
No. Why can't I think of what?
Randy,
his name
who's
is?
Dick Siebert? Why does that name come to my mind?
He was the former baseball coach.
The guy who won all
Longtime
the games.
baseball.
Yeah, right.
The field's named after him.
Right. So there you go. Joe Buck's wife's family is from Faribault.
They mentioned that.
Oh, here's what the listener says. That gives me another reason to hate that guy.
Janelle, is it? I don't even know how to pronounce the last name, but is it Dick Jonkowski?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, it says he was the voice of the Gophers.
Thank you. I can never remember his last
That's
name.
his-
Jonkowski.
I feel like it's
his daughter.
No, I think that's Michelle's uncle or some relative to Michelle.
His nickname is the Polish Eagle.
That's right.
That's kind of cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Dick Jonkowski's a great guy.
Yeah, so nice.
So now maybe the Vikings don't trade Daniil Hunter and a few other guys before the trade deadline? What do you think, Randy Shaver?
I don't think they do anything right now. They've got themselves back into a position where they might make some noise. Like I said, the schedule does soften itself up for them over the next 5-6 weeks.
And the schedule is kind of quirky. 4 of their last 6 games are divisional games, and 2 of their last 3 games are against the Lions on Christmas Eve and January 7th.
The NFL does that on purpose to
they
play
now?
divisional games down the stretch.
Yeah, they like to get you all pumped up.
So that's not surprising. But, I mean, they've got the Packers and the Falcons in the next 2 weeks. The Saints are obviously very good. But the Broncos and the
Saints
Bears
are very good?
Yeah, their defense is pretty good.
Oh, we watched them on Thursday Night Football. I thought they kind of looked like a mess. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but then they've got the Broncos, Bears, Raiders, and, Cincinnati's been struggling. So, I mean...
for God's sake, that schedule is SAWFT soft, if you ask me.
The schedule is conducive for them to do something.
I thought they were supposed to have a tough schedule this year.
They do. At the very beginning of the
sucks.
season, was difficult.
Hey, Wapple, overly optimistic Vikings fan Jesus has texted in to make you feel better about the fact that the Vikings still don't have a rushing touchdown. He says you can win a game
many ways.
In many ways.
Said Jerry Burns. Many ways. I love Anderson.
Army truck driver Jesus recommends that we do not Google simply Gopher Dick. Maybe add announcer.
Yes,
Thank you, Janelle.
I added announcer to it.
Put announcer in there, put in another keyword.
Yep.
But I'm very tempted to Google what he just said not to Google. I got to say.
Randy Shaver, here's something.
Don't do it, Joe.
I'm not going to do it.
Here's something
maybe on
you
Waffle's computer.
Gopher Dick?
Yeah, I don't want that on my history.
Randy, you've been touching yourself to the Detroit Lions for a while now, haven't you?
So have you.
I have.
Yeah, you get excited about the Lions.
All right, fine. We're both touching ourselves.
Okay.
At the same time.
Separately.
What do you think about this? The Lions, they got curb stomped by the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday, and there's one general manager out there in the NFL who said that the Lions winning 5 of their first 6 games was just thanks in large part to an easy schedule. He said they were 5-1, but did they play anybody? Well, look at the games they won. They played. Randy, just hear this man out before you.
Okay. All right.
They played Kansas City in week 1 and caught them without Travis Kelce or Chris Jones. Mahomes was not comfortable with any of those receivers. Other than that, who have they beaten? And they list here, who the hell did they beat? I guess maybe it's not. Maybe it's not listed.
They beat Atlanta, Green Bay, Carolina, Tampa. Well, the Vikings have played Tampa and lost to them. They've played Carolina.
So they're basically saying the Lions aren't nearly as good as they're being given credit for.
I disagree. I mean, the NFL, and it's cliche, but it's true. We saw it last night. On any given day, any team can beat any team. So the schedule, if you're looking at, you're not playing the Chiefs and the Cowboys and the 49ers in back-to-back weeks in week one, but you're still playing.
You still got to go out and win those ball games,
teams.
Don't you, Randy?
You do.
You still got to go out and win those ball
games. And they're going
games.
to play a similar schedule to the Vikings because, just because they're in the same division. So they're going to see some of the same teams.
Okay, anyone? I didn't watch much of the game last night. A listener has a question. If you were watching intently, it says, can anyone explain the Victor Viking bit, the mascot, where he was painting on the sidelines?
Yeah, I didn't. Was it a nod to Bob Ross or something? I saw that. It was like maybe right when they were going to commercial or coming back from commercial. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the reference.
Fair enough.
If they said, I wasn't paying attention.
We don't know. We tried to help and we failed. I hate to hear this now. Speaking of that Detroit Lions game where they got totally curb stomped by the Baltimore Ravens, all-time great former Golden Gopher running back Mo Ibrahim got hurt badly.
Yes, he did.
He got hurt badly in that game. I don't have any specifics. Does anyone
dislocated hip.
He
had to have surgery immediately.
I'll be dipped.
Yeah.
I bet that hurts like a
bitch.
bitch.
It was pretty bad.
He was returning a kick. It was the first time he had touched a football in a real NFL game, and his hip came out of place. That sucks because I love that dude.
As you would say, he came smooth off.
Yeah, he's no Gopher dick.
No, don't Google that.
Mo Ibrahim is one of my favorite people in the whole world.
That's too bad.
Yes, the Miami Dolphins will be this year's featured team on the in-season version of Hard Knocks. Are you on that, Cubby?
Yeah, I'll watch.
You love that Hard Knocks operation.
It kind of just seems to be a bad omen, though, lately.
Does it?
The Jets, obviously, the most recent team featured.
Well, their bad omen was when they signed that friggin' stupid Karen. Miami Dolphins, the in-season Hard Knocks. I didn't know this was a thing.
They've been doing it a few years now.
Yeah.
It says here, as the first-place team in the AFC East, the Dolphins will be on a playoff run when the show airs. Well, they're sure of that? Okay. It airs on something called Max. You got that Tua guy, you got the Tyreek Hill guy, you got the head coach Mike McDaniel.
He's funny.
Didn't they catch him vaping on the sideline a couple years ago?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, he seems like he's a pretty funny guy. I agree.
I like him.
What's this about George Kittle getting hit in the nuts last night?
Oh, my gosh, just nailed.
Yeah.
That's up on 93x.com.
The camera caught him saying, I got hit in the D.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
He got like someone punched him there?
No, Harrison Smith just kind of ran into him.
Yeah, like shoulder to the crotch.
Some people are texting in about I'm so tired of this. Whenever the defense makes a big play, they all have to gather in the end zone, and I'm so burned out on that stupid bit.
Yeah.
But people they're texting in saying they were doing the worm, and they were, I don't know.
It's just
there was
too
a limbo.
Much. It's just so much.
Enough.
I like the limbo. That's fun.
Enough already. Yes, we get it. You want to be on Facebook. You want to be in the new video game. We get it.
You want to be on Facebook.
You want to be on
MySpace.
That's the hot place to be.
That's where you want to be.
Blowing up on Facebook.
You want Don Meredith and Howard Cosell to talk about you.
You got Janelle's attention. You're blowing up on Facebook.
I love Facebook.
You want Brett Musburger and Irv Cross to talk about you on NFL Today.
Right. You're looking live.
We have an answer on why Victor was painting. So it was a nod to Bob Ross. I guess he's been in Halloween costumes. So that was what the gist was.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, they do that little gimmick.
Total ripoff of Goldie Gopher. Right?
I don't know who did it first.
Sure. Goldie Gopher is the greatest of ever. This Saturday. So we should all get tickets to the game because this is the Saturday home game before Halloween. I used to go to every home game, the last home game before Halloween, because Goldie Gopher is effing hilarious. He puts on multiple different Halloween costumes. Josh, were you at the game where he became a transformer?
No, but I
that's
saw the
sweet.
videos. It was awesome. Some of those Transformer costumes are so cool.
He's walking around, Goldie Gopher, gorgeous bastard that he is. He falls, almost like the way Ric Flair used to do the timber, down on it. He falls flat on his face, and suddenly he's a semi-truck. He's a transformer, and he's driving around the field.
That's incredible.
It's like a magic trick.
I gotta see this.
Man, I was supposed to go to the game this weekend too, Nick, but I said no because of the whole Halloween party thing. Darn it! Now I'm mad.
So whatever, Vernon the Viking, whatever your name is, leave it to the
Victor.
professionals. Leave it to the professionals.
Vernon the Viking.
And why is Facebook
On
funny?
Facebook.
Well, why is that funny? I thought
Because that was so 2010.
Everyone's mom is on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's so totally
So
not where everybody is
2010.
anymore.
No.
Well, where are we now?
TikTok.
Twitter, Instagram.
Is Brent Musburger on Twitter?
He might be.
I'll
He might
check.
have a
I'll
look.
check for you.
It's X now, Ashley. Come on, get with the time.
Sorry. Hey, my URL still says Twitter.
He is indeed on Twitter or X or whatever you want to
You
call it these
want
days.
Don Shula and Tom Landry to pick you up in free agency. I get it. That's why you're doing all the dances in the end zone. So now, Randy Shaver, according to a website called Bro Bible, the Deshaun Watson trade that the Cleveland Browns pulled off, whenever that was, how long ago was that? A year ago? 6
Couple
months?
years ago.
A couple years.
Yeah, 2.
They say that trade is the worst trade in NFL history, so folks can finally let go of the Herschel Walker deal, I guess.
Okay. And why do they rule it as the worst trade?
Oh, because of all the picks they gave up, and because he hasn't performed very well, and because he's a PR disaster.
Okay.
You going to go along with it? You gave me the Ashley, okay, as if I didn't quite give you enough information. You're not satisfied.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. Well, that's the team I've got $20 on to win the Super Bowl, so I hope they figure it out one way or the other.
Right. You're invested in that team.
P.J. Walker, I guess, might have to play quarterback. Wasn't he an XFL superstar?
He was.
Houston Roughneck.
For the Houston Roughneck.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. All right, so now let's just go that route. We'll go Deshaun Watson. We'll stop picking on Herschel Walker. And that wasn't his fault anyway. The Vikings were too dumb to figure out how to use him right. He was like the greatest running back in the world at that time, but the Vikings trade for him. God forbid a team goes for it, right? God forbid that. Mm-hmm. Locals are always begging their team to go for it, but then when they do and fail, then it's a total. So the Vikings go for it. They make this massive trade for Herschel Walker. He's the greatest running back in the world. It fails, and somehow everyone puts the blame on Herschel Walker.
Right. Didn't use him right.
Janelle, have I told you how badly I want to be an F-boy?
Well, no, Nick, you haven't.
I don't think you can be an F boy.
Tell me more.
Please.
Why can't I be an F-boy?
Can I remind you, you are a quote-unquote happily married man.
Oh, true.
It's a disqualifying factor.
I mean, you're trying to end this quicker than Ashley's. You can't go on the radio and
That made me
say,
feel better.
I want to be an F-boy when you're married.
But I want to be an F-boy.
Yeah, but you just, sometimes you can't say some of that stuff.
Can I be an F-boy when I go out of town?
Okay, now that's a question I can't quite answer.
Janelle.
What are the rules on that, Janelle?
I don't know. But you were at the casino last week. That was your opportunity in a hot tub.
Yeah, but that was me and him in there.
Oh.
We had a little potluck party.
Janelle, you trying to get a guy shot or something?
She did send him a funny text, Janelle. While I was standing right next to him, and he received this text message.
Oh,
you want to share that, Nick?
Is that where she asked me if I was committing adultery?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I was lucky enough to be by you a little bit later. I think it was maybe the next day, and she texted you again.
Yes, I showed this to Ashley. She sent a picture of the two of us on our wedding day. Mm-hmm. We're all dressed up and whatnot, in those cheesy poses they make you. She sent a picture of the two of us on our wedding day with a question: are you giving all of this up by committing adultery?
You know the difference between being married for a month and 15 years? My wife didn't text me once. I don't know if she knew I was out of the house.
I got her back, though. I texted back. I said, who dis?
Got a text that to me saying, come on, man, just let him bang.
Let him bang, dude.
I hate it when you don't let me bang. Janelle, are you aware of the fact that there's a television show right now? I've become obsessed with this. Listeners are saying, again, he's going to bring up the F-Boy Island. There's a television show.
There's a few seasons already. He's just catching on.
It's just new to me.
Yeah.
It's called
Mike and Molly was new to him recently.
That's true. I discovered Mike and Molly when we were, I don't know, when I had COVID or something. The show's called F-Boy Island. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I have never heard of that.
Okay.
You really haven't heard of it?
No.
Neither had I until like a week ago.
What's the premise?
I'm not sure. I'm not even all that sure what an F-boy is yet.
So they go to a tropical island. They're
Yeah.
joined by, I think it's 3 women, right?
Yep.
There's like 24 dudes.
Oh, wow. That's overwhelming.
Half of them are nice guys. The other half are F-boys. And so you're, trying to figure out who they pick to find love. It's Nikki Glaser, right? That's
She's
her
very
show.
funny.
Does she host it?
Yeah, she does.
She does. Okay, I knew she was behind it in some way.
I love when this happens. What do they call this in the business? And when you're texting and you make a mistake, you print in a wrong word, like say you're on Facebook or something. And then folks always say, damn spell check or whatever, right?
Autocorrect or something.
Autocorrect, that's what I was going for. Autocorrect. Because someone just, this must be about my marriage, someone texted in, a ring doesn't plug a hotel. That's a spell check problem right there, isn't it?
Yeah, unless they've never heard the actual one.
Did you hear this? College football play-by-play announcer by the name of James Bates. He had to do a promo for the new television show called F-Boy Island, and he made it fun.
Yeah,
He made it
what
fun.
What did I do with that?
And he must have been thinking, for God's sake, I got to read a promo of F-Boy Island while we're doing this football.
Everyone at home, are you watching F-Boy Island? Well, the answer should be F yeah. Watch an all-new season of F-Boy Island on the CW Mondays at 8, 7 Central. Stream free the next day on the CW app. Season 3 has started. By the way, the finale of Season 2 a couple weeks ago was incredible. It is about 2 or 3 shows in right now. They're already kicking F-Boys out of there left and right. Nice guys sticking around. They kicked a couple F-Boys off, so make sure you're checking it out on the CW when you're not watching us call these great football games.
See, the beauty of that is that he has no idea what he's talking about.
He's pretending he does.
If ever I'm going to cut an ad or read a promo, I know what the hell I'm talking about. I know.
Yeah, you do.
All the deeps, ins, and outs of all the programs that I push, all the products.
I mean, tell us that Tim Allen show you were really into for a while, and you did commercials for a year or 2 on.
That was called Old Man Island.
No.
Starring Tim Allen.
I think it was Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing,
and I
of
forget,
course.
what was Tim Allen's? I mean, you watched every episode. What was his character name on that show?
Character name was Pootsy.
No.
Pootsy McTurd Giver.
Nope, that's not right.
And he drove a bus on Mars. He was a bus driver on Mars in the future.
Ah, so close.
Yeah, close enough.
And he died violently.
It is funny, some of the endorsements.
At a bukkake party, I think that's how it played out on last.
It's the way a lot of us want to go.
Oh, God.
Talk about being the last man standing.
Janelle, sometimes, Janelle, it's not even worth getting up in the morning,
No,
right? Oh, it's just not.
That's right, Josh.
Hey, you're not going to find this on WCCO radio.
Talk about being the last man standing, he says. Some of you didn't even react to that. That's right. I know what I'm talking about when I'm pushing a product or a program.
Yeah, it's the best when they're like, Nick, we got a great endorsement opportunity for you. It's for this new AI company. It's all technology. Or, hey, there's this new kale restaurant opening up. We'd love for you to endorse it.
I'll take it. This is cute. So the Ohio State football team beat Penn State's football team over the weekend, and the local newspaper there, the Columbus Dispatch. You ever wrote any articles for the Columbus Dispatch, Janelle Klein, in your journalistic?
I can't say I have.
Have you ever written any articles?
Yeah.
Or is it so you've done that as well, not just TV?
I think I told you guys my first journalism job was as a sports writer for the Faribault Daily News.
Oh, yes. You did say that.
Yep.
Wow.
It's awesome.
That's right.
What did you cover, Janelle? What was your first game that you ever covered as a sports writer?
Gosh. Well, I did a lot of, mostly I covered my own high school, right? Because at least I knew the kids and the coaches. So Faribault High School, so the Big Nine Conference, football, basketball, swimming, gymnastics. I kind of did it all. And then we had, some of the schools surrounding. Then we had the state academies. So actually that was pretty interesting, the state academy for the deaf and blind, covering their sports. Once in a while, something with Carleton or St. Olaf in Northfield.
St. Olaf.
Had a lot of stuff going on.
I did.
Wow.
I was 15. Sometimes my parents had to drop me off.
That's adorable.
Well, you were driven at a young age.
Yeah.
Do you like doing when you do the sports stuff, do you like that better than, because not all the time, but a lot of times you're doing some pretty dark stories.
Yeah.
Anytime you see a terrible story somewhere in the country, we can guess you're not going to be on that week.
Right. No, I would far rather do happy things, including sports.
You were driven and motivated to be a journalist even at 15.
Well,
I didn't know I wanted a career in radio until I was 7 years into my career in radio.
I don't know if driven was the word, but I had been a waitress up to that point, and so this was far better than the country kitchen.
That's what Tim Allen's wife does in the movie. Country Kitchen is delicious.
It is good.
I love the Country Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to this Ohio State win over Penn State. The local Columbus Dispatch used this unfortunate headline: Ohio State rides D to win over Penn State. They knew what they were doing.
I'm sure they did.
That's on purpose. Wonderful things happened in baseball's league championship series. First off, the Texas Rangers they've cleansed us all.
Grounded to second. 2 years removed from losing 100. The Rangers have won the pennant.
By ridding the world of the Houston Astros. What a hell of a deal for Texas.
Year.
Yes, at least for this year. That's all that matters right now is this year.
Yeah.
Back-to-back road wins to win the American League pennant in Houston.
Gosh, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia is just, what a series.
Dude.
He had. He's just been incredible.
He got the dong out twice. He drove in 4 runs last night, went 4 for 5 at the plate. Picked up the MVP award.
Yeah.
Obvious choice
Much
for the
deserved.
American League Championship Series MVP.
Yeah. Yep.
But I
would say right behind him, Jordan Montgomery.
He was
who
great.
I thought was tremendous in this series.
Showed his value.
Yeah.
They did it so convincingly in Games 6 and 7. They outscored the Astros 20-6 in Games 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Last night's final was 11-4. So
now you got to wait, though.
Yeah, you got to wait. The Rangers skipper, Bruce Bochy, came out of retirement this season to manage the Rangers. He became the first manager to win a league championship series with 3 different clubs: San Diego, San Francisco, in the NL, and now Texas. I like this quote from Dusty Baker, skipper for the Astros. I don't like tipping my cap to anybody, but when someone beats the hell out of you, what are you going to do?
5-yard penalty.
Sorry, wrong one.
You get beat 11-3. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can point to. We just got beat. Sometimes, there's no rhyme or reason. We got beat.
They did.
Texas has never won a World Series.
Yeah.
They made a couple of trips back-to-back 10 years ago or so. That's great. And on top of all that, yesterday the Arizona Diamondbacks made sure we get to enjoy another league championship Game 7 tonight.
Good. How about that possible World Series, Texas and Arizona? I don't know too many people that would have guessed that
I'm all
before
over
the
it.
season started.
Right.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Crazy.
They hit a couple of back-to-back dongs early in the game.
Maybe the Diamondbacks will get some people to show up to the ballpark.
Oh, yeah, they'll show up now if they make the World Series.
Yeah.
Their starter last night, Merrill Kelly, was sharp. I thought he got the hook a little early, but their bullpen was terrific. Some great quotes here. This is Merrill Kelly, Arizona's starter, said after the game, I don't think anybody thought we were going to take them to Game 6. I don't think anybody thought we were going to take them in game or make it to Game 1. I don't think anybody thought we were going to get past Milwaukee, he said.
Yeah.
And then their manager, Torey Lovello, Torey Lovello, he said before last night's game, we didn't come cross-country to get our asses kicked. And they'll play a do-or-die game against the Phillies tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS. The pitchers, Brandon Pfaadt, I think is how you say that. He starts for Arizona. Young guy. He's a rookie, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a young guy. Yeah.
And Ranger Suarez for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Fought. I fought in your general direction. Isn't that a line from a movie?
F-A-A-D-T.
What is that? One of those, what's that movie
Monty
series?
Python.
Yeah.
Wildly.
No, I don't think it's Monty Python.
It's not?
I thought it was.
Yeah, it was. The
is
Holy
it?
Grail.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the knights that say, nah.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you.
I fart in your general direction.
I always thought the Monty Python thing was greatly overrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked it.
But then you put John Cleese and some of these other guys, like, say, in A Fish Called Wanda, and I laugh so hard every time I watch that movie, I want to puke on myself. Something about the Holy Grail or the Monty Python thing never grabbed me.
You got to like that kind of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Fish Called Wanda. I don't know how many times I got to bring it up. I don't know how many times I got to bring it up. What else is going on? The Man Bear Pigs play a home game tonight, and by God, they
What's his
play.
name's hurt?
Ed Mental. Yeah, don't expect to see Conrad McHockey, whatever the hell
Conrad
his name is.
Dobler.
Connor McGregor? No, for God's sake. Connor, State of Hockey. Nobody? McDavid.
There we go.
Jesus, Wapo, you couldn't even come up with that one?
No, I couldn't, because I kept thinking Bedard, and I'm
That's
like,
what
no,
was in my head, too.
I was
Wrong
like, no,
team.
that's totally wrong.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He's suspended. No, he's just injured.
They're still pretty good, though,
They
right?
play, well, they haven't had a great start. Both clubs are off to a fairly uninteresting start, so maybe look for some extra piss and vinegar out there tonight. There should be a decent crowd at the X, wouldn't you think, though? Maybe half full.
I think a lot of people are going to be watching it somewhere else, though, right, Wapo?
Oh, totally. They're going to be in Ramsey at
Yes, they
McDuff's
are.
from
McDuff's
8
in
to
Ramsey.
10. Come get your Wild Sweet tickets.
You're going to be sleepy.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, what's the deal with opening? Opening isn't the word. What's the deal with starting a game at 8 o'clock, a home game at 8 o'clock?
National TV, I'm
TV?
guessing?
Yeah.
It's not on national. It's my newspaper says BSN.
Oh, I don't know then.
That's pretty cheap. Maybe the newspaper's wrong. It would make sense if it was a national
Says
game.
8 o'clock on ESPN, too.
Oh, mine. Okay, ESPN.
Yeah,
Well, no. On the website, ESPN, it says 8 o'clock start.
Oh, I mean, I understand if it's a nationally televised game. What are we honoring? Are we honoring Bobby Smith for an hour before the game? Because that'd be great. What am I saying here? Yeah, there should be a decent crowd. Oh, and here's more motivation. It's televised. Yeah, 8 o'clock tonight. Pigs and Ed Mental.
NBA kicks off tonight.
Oh, right.
Doubleheader tonight. The Lakers in Denver, Phoenix and Golden State.
We're going to talk a lot about the Wolves tomorrow because that's their season
They
opener.
open up tomorrow.
I always forget that. I always forget that they have to have a big, grand national opening night and televise, 11 games.
The best show on TV back on the air.
I never get a chance to
Shaq
watch
and-
much of it, but yeah. I never
Kenny,
get
Shaq, and Kenny, and
love
Charles.
it. Love it.
so funny.
Yeah, love it.
So we'll talk about the damn Wolves tomorrow. They did sign Jaden McDaniels to a multi-year contract
They did.
extension.
Wow.
Great player when he's not punching walls and shattering his effing forearm or whatever he did last
Right.
year.
Yeah.
But I do love Jaden McDaniels' 5-year, $136 million contract extension. Imagine the hot mamas when you sign a 5-year, $136 million contract extension.
Sure.
What? What do you want over there, Janelle?
The hot mamas.
You're imagining them, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. There you go. There is one little piece of sports history today. 26 years ago today, in 1997, Marv Albert was spared a jail sentence after he apologized in court for biting his lover's back
Yes. I remember this story.
During some hot action.
Yes. It was a big story back then.
Yes, it was. He's a biter.
Yes.
Yes.
He just digs in.
Yes. Yes.
Chewing on her back. And she had a problem with that, and they went to court. And he said, yeah, I'm sorry.
My bad.
And they let him off the hook, I guess. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it was a massive thing. Yes! I used to love it when he was on the Letterman show.
Oh, yeah.
He would always do the sports bloopers. He was great. Great at that. He was a great announcer. But he was especially funny with Letterman. Didn't he always introduce Randy Shaver? I think he always described that the videos were put together by his cracked staff.
Cracked staff, yes.
Stacey Augman! Yes! Oh! All right, there you go. Randy Shaver will let you move on with your day. It's probably about time for applesauce or something over there at the...
Oh, it's past that. We're getting closer to pudding.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, son.
See ya.
Jungle Jane, you're sticking around?
I am.
More with the Norwegian Ox when we come back.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
Susie Schuster and Amy Trask present offbeat conversations and expert sports commentary as they ask, what the football?
When my family found out how long it took me to figure out why Charles Woodson named his wine Intercept, they said, there's a reason that you had trouble in school.
You know, not everyone knows, when they think of a bottle of Intercept, they don't know that I play football.
Well, what I've learned is a smooth defensive back can make smooth wine.
That's what it's all about.
What the Football with Susie Schuster and Amy Trask. The podcast is available Tuesdays, wherever you listen.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, man. Looky here. We are back on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. It's 8:29, and a wonderful ray of sunshine that calls herself Janelle Klein is with us. Janelle?
Yes, Nick?
What's going on?
What is going on? I'll tell you one thing that made me laugh this week is that I had some friends come into town who cover the 49ers, and it was their first time coming to Minnesota.
Sure.
And don't you find it funny when people really don't know anything about our state and just the impressions that they have?
Did they assume they'd be coming into like 3 feet of snow, or it would be below zero or
something? They
something?
were terrified of the weather. They thought it was going to be like it was during the Super Bowl. Most of their references came because they were most familiar with our state because of Trey Lance. So all their points of reference were like Marshall and Southwest Minnesota. So it's just really interesting, and I don't know.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that. But, if I went to a very, very hot climate, I probably would have no idea what I was up against. Like, I wouldn't know if you dropped me off in March what it's like compared to September. You see what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I see where they're going a little bit.
Yep. Thought that we were all going to have the Fargo accent, just kind of the stereotype stuff. It was really funny. I get a kick out of that.
I do too. We talked about the whole Fargo thing last week, I think.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's wonderful to have you in studio. I hate to drag you into this, but I have a funny text message that was sent smooth into the radio show by some derelict. I wanted to share it with everybody. This is the part where I feel bad dragging you into it, but it helps to set up the text message. Earlier on, there was a story in our stupid news where a delivery driver, the guys who will bring you your dinner now?
Yeah.
They'll they'll go pick it up and drive it over to one of those delivery guys was caught. He was masturbating on someone's meal. It's a terrible thing. He's in a lot of trouble. You can't just up and masturbate on someone's Mexican dinner. But it sets up this text message. So, someone saw the guy sitting in his car performing this horrific act. And then he drives off and goes and delivers the food. I wish I would have written down the name of this listener who sent in this funny text. He said, just last night I was at a gas station, and I saw this small car shaking back and forth.
Oh.
You're interested, huh, Dana?
Yeah. Well, the car's rocking. Yeah. Got an idea what's going on in there.
The gentleman in the car was looking intently at his lap. The shaking continued. He had that certain look on his face. I was sure he was masturbating. I was about to report him. Then the shaking stopped, and he got out of the car with a handful of scratch-off tickets. That's a close call. Yeah.
I used to have to get in line for my youngest, picking him up at school like half hour early, right, if you wanted to be in line, and or get a decent spot in line, I should say. And sometimes I would like watch if I was either reading or watching something on an iPad or whatever, I'd put it up high so that people could see I'm not watching porno, and so it didn't look like I was staring at my genitals in some way.
In front of a school.
But I was always worried about that for sure.
Yeah.
And no sudden movements. It's like if you get pulled over by the cops, you just put your hands on the steering wheel. It was the same type of thing. So everyone could see where my hands are. I'm not doing anything nefarious.
Very smart.
Well, yeah,
Very
and you're
smart.
parked in front of a school.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Nowadays, I could see you as being batoned by school security because they assume there's something scandalous going on. All right. A few minutes ago when we had Randy Shaver on, we were talking, joking around about text messages that I receive from time to time from my wife. You know, she used to just be my girlfriend, but now she's my wife. I'm all hitched now.
You guys went and got married.
Yeah, we did.
It was a wonderful reception.
The other day, she went ahead and ordered the two of us a pizza. But anyway, enough with the inside jokes. I'm all hitched now. Janelle, you seen anybody lately?
Seen?
Pardon me?
You mean like dating?
Yes, dating.
Am I going steady with anyone, or what?
Are you going steady?
Are you guys an item?
Item. Romantic entanglements, like I like to call them.
Yes, romantic entanglements.
Yeah, you're in a romantic entanglement.
Ooh, I like the spin.
Yeah.
We covered this, didn't we?
We're playing a little bit of dodgeball here, aren't we?
She sends me text messages checking up on me. She used to be my girlfriend, but now she's my wife. Yeah, we covered me already. We're talking about, you know, if the answer is no good for you, why get involved in such nightmares?
How about this? In the past, have you ever been on a dating app?
No, I've never done that.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Is it because of your job? Sorry, is it because of your job, or just you'd have no interest anyway?
I don't think that's for me.
Just not for you?
No.
Here's something new for you folks on the current dating scene. Well, first off, answer this question, everybody. If you can, it's a tough question. What type of partner do you think your parents would have picked out for you? Would they be anything like your current piece? What type of partner, if your folks had full control over the operation, and in some societies they do, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
If your folks had 100% control in picking you a partner, what do you think that person would be like? Would they be anything like the current piece that you throw into the tall grass whenever you want to?
My parents absolutely would have picked my current girlfriend.
God, you're a kiss up. She is pretty awesome.
Why do you try to run that stuff by us like we don't know you?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I think my parents would be pretty happy. Obviously, my mom was thinking more like rich doctor that can take the whole family on trips.
Oh.
But yeah, I think they're pretty. They're happy as long as I'm happy. They're happy as long as I'm taken care of.
You know what? You guys all do have very good significant others.
Thank you.
Once. Your boyfriend is very cool, Ashley, and especially some of the things you inadvertently put him through, and just he's having a good attitude about it.
I don't know how he makes it through.
Well, I did get some crap about that from listeners. Like, oh my gosh, how could you like put him on blast and stuff? But I tell people, like, that's how I'm going to use the word, and I hate this word, but that's like our love language, is being a-holes to each other.
Sure.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun.
But you do it on accident, though, we've noticed. Like, Janelle, I don't know if you were listening Friday. We're doing this live broadcast. she mentions that her boyfriend commented another gentleman's penis in the bathroom, right? And it was just, she thought maybe it was something common that guys do and didn't think she was selling them out. But Nick and I were talking about this afterwards. He had a look on his face, and he throws his arms like, okay, are you kidding me? Why would you bring that up on the radio?
He didn't tell me it was a secret.
He had a very frustrated and defeated look on his face. Josh described it perfectly, as if he was saying, why would you say that?
He'll get me back one day.
You know, okay, I can 100% say that the lady that I married is one of my parents' favorite people in the whole world and has been for over 30 years. If we're talking about whether our, so I can safely say if my parents were to pick someone for me, they would have picked her. My mother especially, well, I guess this is how should I say this? Both my parents adore her. My dad would be happy if no matter what. He's just a very easy guy to please. But I think if you ask my mother, she'd say different. She has an interest in who I'm with. But my current bride is one of my folks' favorite people of all time. The reason I'm asking about this parent stuff, Tinder, where Janelle hangs out day in, day out, they just announced a few new features, and one of them is a matchmaking option, which allows you to send profiles to friends and family to let them weigh in. That sounds really dangerous to me.
On Tinder, there was a thing that you could send a bio to a friend. I remember that they had that.
Oh, so that's been happening for a while, you're saying?
Well, this must be new, like a new wrinkle in kind of thing.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, but so you could be like, oh, this person looks like my buddy Ryan would like her. So then you'd send the link to him.
By the way, my wife just got a new wrinkle. She's a little older. So this new gimmick, you send profiles to friends and family to let them weigh in. The reason why I say that, in my opinion, that's dangerous, because a lot of us have friends and family that might try to get a little too involved. I don't have that problem, but some people do.
Yeah, I don't either, but you're right. That can be a major issue. I mean, Dana, your dad likes your girlfriend so much that he's banging her, right?
My God!
That's the rumor that I heard.
I've heard the way some parents talk about their children's significant others. It's something, how critical they can be. And, some folks, significant others never get along with their parents, ever. They become enemies quite quickly and remain
so
that
scary.
until. So I'm just saying, there's some iffy ground there when you're giving we haven't even talked about our friends yet. When we give your family a little too much input on your life, God, no, I would not want them to have something to do with it if I was in that situation. Friends, that can be a whole new mess.
I'll tell you what, so if my wife and I ever were to get divorced, it's not my call, right? She'd be leaving me or something. But if that ever happened, one way or the other, my mom would kill me. She would never. So? She'd be on my wife's side by far.
Instantly?
She would kill me if that happened. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. My relationship with my mother would be over.
She's that tied into your old lady.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I will say that my mom has been good at pretending that she's, to the point where she's fooled me. That when the relationship ends, she's almost like a, oh, thank God type of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she'll act like, oh, yeah, no, this is great. I'm happy for it.
Well, then how do you know she's truly happy with your current lady?
I know. I can tell.
Oh, Mom, come on, tell me the truth. Save me, a couple years of my life.
Now I want the two of you and your lady, to break up, Dana, so we can get the real truth out of your mother.
Should I just call her up today and pretend like we broke up and see what she says?
My mom was the opposite, Dana. She was brutal. My high school boyfriend, whenever we were in the car together, she'd be like, you're going to college, and there's going to be a lot better looking men there that can drive and have jobs.
Wait, your boyfriend couldn't drive in high school?
Have
probably
their
got
life
in
together.
trouble.
Oh, sure.
So, Janelle, if your folks were to pick you the perfect partner, how do you think they'd put them together?
God.
I don't know. My parents are so incredibly nice. I've never heard them say a bad word about anyone. So
That's amazing.
that's not.
In the first place.
Not even in a nice way, like, oh, he could have been a little more motivated. Meaning he's never worked a day in his life.
Never.
Wow.
Can I tell a wild story?
I love wild, especially from Jungle Jane.
Okay, I have to be careful how I tell it. But so a relative of mine, I think I can say a cousin of mine, was dating this guy several years. This is quite a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with my parents and we were introduced to this guy and he seemed great, right? And my parents were they're so nice to everyone. So they're telling my cousin, oh, what a great guy. He's wonderful. And they walk away and they're like, oh, isn't he great? And I was like, I don't really like that guy. They're like, what do you mean you don't like him? And I said, I don't know. Like, I just have this feeling I don't like him. He seems like I know he seems great. There's something not right about this guy. And they're like, oh, Janelle, you're just being so harsh on him. Like, why would you think that? You just met him. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, I just have this bad feeling.
Fair enough, yeah.
Anyway, time goes by and they're getting pretty serious. And finally they break up. And I think it was maybe a year or two later, they each got married to someone else. He ended up, I believe he's in prison right now for doing child pornography.
Oh! You knew.
I knew.
Well, you're eating crow.
I know.
Yeah, he proved you wrong.
Right?
That's great. That's great that you. I like to believe I have a little bit of that knack.
Yeah.
Did you call your parents?
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah, told
I was
you
like,
so.
remember, you guys thought he was so great. Did you see he was on the front page of the paper?
Some people are really easy to schmooze.
Yeah, and
They
I mean,
are.
You know how we've all met those people, right? They seem
absolutely.
great,
Yeah.
and
We've
then you're
been
like-
fooled many, many times.
I think I don't know, you can't always tell, but sometimes when it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
I think I have that knack. I think I can kind of look into someone's eyes and tell if they're legit or not, if they're phony or not, if there's some kind of sleaziness behind them. At least I like to believe. One episode from my life stands out here talking about, your parents getting involved in picking your partners, what your parents think of your partners. This was, maybe you had to be there, but I'm over at a buddy's place, and his dad is there. This buddy of mine has a sister. So I'm sitting with my buddy and my buddy's dad. His sister and his sister's new husband are upstairs, okay? And the new husband comes down the stairs to say hello to us. His new father-in-law, his new brother-in-law, and me, the dorky friend. And the guy seemed awful nice. Hey, guys, I'm Donnie. What are you doing, watching the ball game? This and that. And my buddy's dad, this guy's new father-in-law, is like, oh, yeah, it's going to be a big one. And they traded pleasantries. When the new husband turned his back to walk back up the stairs, his father-in-law gave him the finger. Right when he turned his back, F you. And I had to say, okay, what's going on here? And the dad and the father-in-law, I don't trust this friggin' prick. He's married my daughter. I had no say in it. The guy's a prick.
Being on the other side of it with my older kids, I'd be disappointed if they don't end up with their current significant others. They're both pretty great.
Because you really like them.
You guys got to spend some time with Cam, my oldest, his girlfriend, over the weekend.
Oh, she's awesome.
Melissa?
She is such a sweet girl.
She's great.
I think he can do better, but she seems just...
Don't you ever meet those people, though, that nobody's going to be good enough for their kid?
Oh,
yeah, those are the worst.
Yeah.
You can't win no matter what.
And a lot of times those kids, everybody's good enough for that kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Janelle, it's funny you bring that up because I seem to be surrounded by those people. So that's the deal. If you're a Tinder junkie, there's now a new gimmick where you can send pictures of potential dates to your friends and family and let those folks get involved.
how about this? Would you trust your friends and or not just the friends? I'll take that out. Would you trust your family in something like that? You would.
100%. Because my mom was always right in the past.
I would
should have
not.
listened to her when she knew I was.
You mean like if they tell you, I don't like this person?
Yep, she could always tell if I was like really happy or faking it, and in her eyes, or her definition of me being truly happy. She was always good at that, so I would trust her. But that's after experience. I don't think I would have trusted her straight out the gate.
I would not leave that type of decision up to my family.
Hell no!
I would not leave that up
I
to
would
them.
take it
No.
into consideration, but
I mean, but who would? If someone comes to you and says, I don't really like your partner, are you really going to break up just because of that? Probably not.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that it would be interesting if my folks were in charge of picking my partner. I think my mother would prefer if the woman was a lot more Catholic. You know what I'm saying?
That's the route I was going to say about my mom. Totally.
She wishes your girlfriend was more Catholic?
Oh, she would, they'd be like wow, how would you say it? Like the perfect church-going girl.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm not saying I wish my mother thought my wife was more Catholic. I'm saying if you gave her the opportunity to pick a woman and my current wife wasn't available, I think my mother would push a lot more of a straight-laced character at me.
Yep, so
probably she loves to be Catholic, my mother, and she'd probably try to find someone like that, someone who would be a positive influence on me, because my mother thinks I'm just a complete derelict, drunk. My dad would, I don't know.
You just told us what your dad said earlier.
What did he say?
The advice he gave you about finding a woman. You just mentioned it this morning.
Well, yeah, it was actually his friend's advice. But yeah, my dad and his friends always said that if you're going to get married, you pick a woman with large cans, money, and a heart problem. It'd be interesting to see what they would pick out if given the chance.
Do you feel like the fact that your parents like your wife made it easier to make that decision?
No, that didn't come into play.
It didn't?
No, I mean, if I was a kid, maybe it would have come into play. But for Christ's sake, I'll probably be dead in 10 years. So, it wasn't really, my folks weren't really a factor in that decision. But
it would be difficult, though. You're right. If your folks did not like your significant other.
Well, I have so many friends that don't care for their in-laws, and I just think every holiday and every event, I would hate that.
Oh, that'd be a nightmare.
Right?
Oh, yeah, we've heard some stories on this radio program about.
I bet.
I've got pretty lucky with my boyfriend's parents in the past. Yeah, definitely.
That would be stressful.
It's a hell of a deal.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
That's how you do it right there.
Oh, I was running out of steam.
We got to get going here shortly. We got Janelle Klein in studio with us. We were having a conversation about if our parents were to pick our partners, what would they come up with? Would they be similar to who you're currently with? And then we kind of branched into conversations about how some of us get along with our significant others' parents, in-laws, trouble this way, that way. You hate them, you love them, you spend time with them, you don't. Got a couple of text messages. Here's a listener that says, my pothead mother hates my cop wife.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That would make sense.
Trying to take away my reefer.
I wonder if that's changed now that it's legal and whatnot, or decriminalized, whatever you want to say.
Here's a listener who says, apparently I'm not good enough for my wife. My father-in-law hates my guts for some reason. God, that's got to be tough. Some stubborn prick father-in-law that just won't give you a chance. You got to just knock the guy out at a family event. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Just knock him right on his ass.
I lucked out with my mother-in-law. She's awesome.
Oh, she's dead?
No.
Oh, God, because that's the ultimate luck.
Well, that'd be the father-in-law that I lucked out with. If you're looking at that way, no. Got a very good mother-in-law. Speaking of potheads, by the way, she does enjoy that reefer.
I thought you meant the dream in-laws, where they're both dead before you even marry into the family. That's the dream situation.
Dinky Doo Trucker Butt Jesus really liked his mother-in-law, but always felt like something was a little off.
Oh, no.
A few months ago, he and his wife were confronted by the FBI because the mother-in-law had stolen over $800,000 from her elderly mother over the last 3 years.
Oh, no.
She's going to prison.
Whoa.
Janelle told us a story either where she had a funny feeling about somebody. Everyone loved the guy, but she had a funny feeling. I don't know. I don't like the guy. You didn't really know why, did you, Janelle?
No, but I knew there was something up.
You knew there was something, then years later you found out he was into child pornography.
Ugh.
Hey, when you first met us, was there any of us where you thought, that person might not be all there?
No, I actually thought I'm not cool enough for these guys. I'm never going to last on this show.
Well...
Swamp Stomping Jesus said he kept his in-laws in the divorce. That's what would happen if my wife and I got divorced.
They chose him.
And, I had forgotten about this. A listener reminded me, and I appreciate that because it is one of my favorite stories to tell. Yeah. When we were discussing our parents setting us up with someone. Uh-huh. My mother once tried to set my sister up with a man. This was, oh God, it's got to be a good 12 years ago or something. So my sister was in her early 40s. My mother tried to set my sister up with a man 30 years older than her.
Mom!
Who went to high school with my mother.
Oh, my God.
Did your mom, want to take a crack at him in high school and just thought, I'm going to live through my kid vicariously here?
I still don't effing really know.
What did your sister do?
She couldn't believe it. She thought it was a joke. She's, what? I mean, how bad do you think it's going for me, Mom? It was so hilarious. And some of you might be saying, well, age isn't a number. It's a little weird, I think, to be dating someone who went to high school with one of your parents.
God.
I mean, whatever. But it was just so funny because my mother was making these subtle hints that my sister should be with this particular man. And my sister and my dad were sitting there, and they could not figure out the hints. They're like, well, who are you talking about? Who are these hints you're dropping about this man that my sister should be involved in? And when they finally figured it out, my dad said, Jesus Christ, he's 73 years old. we served together, for God's sake. What are you talking? It was just so bizarre. But it happened. And my sister could always kind of throw that in my mother's face once in a while if she ever has anything to say about who my sister is dating. Well, you tried to set me up with a guy who was at Normandy, for Pete's sake, you know. That I'd forgotten all about. It's a great story. And it happens. It happens. Our folks get a little crazy once in a while. I know, Josh, you can't relate to that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Our folks get a little crazy once in a while.
They can be different.
That's how it plays out.
That's just because they love you. That's all it is.
All right, Janelle, you are so cool enough to hang out with us.
I don't know.
Too cool. You class it up. People tell us that all the time.
Jury's still out on this.
You're not the leader in the cool department. Fine. You're not. You know zero movie references, kind of like me. You're not our leader in the cool department, but you fit in just fine.
You guys make me way cooler than I am.
We're doing our best, and we thank you for popping by.
Thanks, you guys.
Always nice to see you.
Great to see you.
Happy birthday to Instant Egg Jesus from Rubber Roller Jesus. Congratulations to almost sober pilot Jesus and nearly drunk pilot's wife Jesus for becoming parents yesterday. Off-Road Snapper Jesus sending a happy birthday wishes to Red Door Queen Jesus and her work wife T-Mac Jesus for their birthdays today. And today is Little Squirt Jesus' last day at his current job, and he wanted to make sure everyone knew there that, especially management, that they can all suck it.
Oh yeah.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93 X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians. Apply today at standardheating.com.